This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good afternoon, boys and girls. We are ready to rock and roll from beautiful Hialeah Park, where we are every single Thursday, rocking and rolling and having some fun. We got Sean Stanley, of course, the man, the myth, the legend. He is mastering this program like he masters the entire platform. Thank you all for tuning in. Those of you already on the chat board, whenever you download this show, day, night, or weekend, thank you for your consistent support. We appreciate it immensely. Bucci says, hard to get through the workday on Thursday. O starts later. Very kind. Thank you, my brother. But listen, at least we're with you at the end of your workday and on the drive, right? So, that's pretty good. We can help you out on the drive home. Well, at least I hope we can help you out on the drive home. I mean, nothing is set in stone except that Bitcoin will, continue to climb. That's the only thing I know that is set in stone. And of course, the dollar will crumble. So, that's the only things I know. And death and taxes, those you can count on those things. On us, I don't know if you can count on us. You can count on Sean. I don't know about me. Hello from Colorado Springs, said Admark. Well, thank you for tuning in wherever you're at. Colorado Springs or Portugal or Malaysia. I love it that you all are listening from Hawaii. We got a lot of listeners in Hawaii also because the stats say it. We didn't have Hawaii in our top 40 before Tua. Post Tua, well, now we've got Hawaii in our top 40 on a consistent basis. So welcome to the folks in the beautiful islands of Hawaii. I gotta visit there. Have you ever been to Hawaii? Did you go on one of your? You went for a layover? Oh, but it was a
16-hour layover.
A military layover is what it was?
I was on the way to Okinawa.
Okay.
And on the way back. So
16 hours. What'd you do? You just got off for a couple of hours, went in a
went
restaurant?
to Honolulu, and it was this was
too quick, right?
93, and I didn't have finances to hang out in Hawaii.
Right.
So
yeah,
it was
in and out.
Quick to look around, get in, back to the airport where I didn't spend money I didn't have.
Yeah. I'm dying to go to Hawaii and hang out for a week or two there, man, and just enjoy it. Maybe go when there's a surfing competition going on. I'm thinking of something like that. You know, they have them out in Europe also. Was it Nazareth? Right, Nazareth or whatever is like a wicked place where it's one of the best surfing places. I'm dying to go to one of those competitions in person. Go see that. I'm always amazed at it. I watch it on YouTube all the time. I tell my wife all the time, one of the greatest inventions out there is just plain old YouTube, not YouTube TV, just regular YouTube, because you can see so many things about anything and everything. It's really cool. It really is cool. So, but yeah, that is definitely on my bucket list. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll broadcast from there. That we'll have a sponsor that wants to take us out there. That would be good. But if not, I'm sure I'll end up with the wife at one point or another vacationing over in Hawaii, in the Big Island. Ty Crook is the first guy in. He says, "Good afternoon, Big O. Any thoughts on the band Spirit? Randy California and Ed Cassidy, etc. Al, they were scheduled to be the act before Hendrix at Woodstock. I would have to even. I don't know anything about them, to be honest with you. I that is something that I would have to kind of, maybe I've heard something from them and I don't remember, because I don't know too much about it. I'd have to look it up right now, because I have to plead like I know nothing right now. You're going that far back. Well, I can go that far back with a reference. I'll go Schultz on you. I know nothing. I see nothing. I hear nothing. No, I just don't know. Don't know. God, I love that show. That was such a great show. Did you watch Hogan's Heroes when you were a kid? No? Damn. That was an awesome show. Jamie Zorrilla is in San Jose, locked in. John Padilla, Brian Walters. Yes, it was a good win last night. John Rouse is in the house. Gus 1388. Let's see. Nyborg. Palenzuela, Emilio Hernandez, Mike Dizzle is in the house. Thank you, Pucci. Giovanelli, Christopher, welcome aboard. Karen Joseph. Maybe they have their right tackle, or maybe they're waiting, Karen, on a right tackle. We've talked about it. It's been kind of quiet. This is like that third phase of the free agency where like there's no more big contracts being dealt. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny. I was reading a story where it says Odell Beckham could want up to $20 million a year. And I'm thinking, why would you be stupid enough to pay Odell Beckham any kind of major amount of salary? I would be paying him only a couple $1 million loaded with incentives. That, hey, you get a certain amount of yards, you stay healthy, you can get paid more. But because you're inconsistent and you can't be counted on, I saw that, and it's like, because he's in the middle of his rehab and all that, and he's getting close to 100%. And so I saw that story where he wants a whole bunch of money, some saying $15-20 million. And I'm like, how high is that guy? Like, how high can you be that you have to ask? Like, who do you think you are, dude? You still think you're in the midst of making that one-handed catch in the back of the end zone, and you're coming off of that play being played over 4 billion times? Oh, man, you're far removed from that. You know what it reminds me of? You know what they say about Lamar Jackson, right? Oh, he won an MVP. You know that MVP was in 2019 already. Like, how many times are you going to mention it? Cam Newton, by the way, also won an MVP. We're going to keep mentioning that too? It's like 4 years ago already at this point. Normally, your career is on a upward trajectory, not his. Since then, you could say. So it's funny as hell. So it's like Odell Beckham, the same thing. Like, yo, dude, do you think your career is on an upward trajectory? No, your career's like this because nobody can ever count on you. You can't stay healthy. Plus, you're a head case on top of all of that. Sure, you're talented. And that's where we're at right now. I think in free agency, we're in that moment where some guys now have to realize they're not going to get the money that they thought they would in free agency. So now they're going to have to take a lot less. Look at Mike Gesicki. Prove it deal. Didn't I tell you that he would have to sign a prove it deal, right? If not, he would have to sign a multi-year under the market deal and he'd be locked in. And even if he kicks ass, he won't be able to get a raise. So instead, he has to bank on himself for a year. You know, that's kind of the way it goes. And I told you that that's what he was going to sign. And I think that's where we're at right now. Right now, we're at a crossroads in free agency where there are players that are very disappointed that they're not getting better deals. So now they have to settle for even lesser deals, and they may have to now decide what place do I go to. And maybe Brandon Shell, the right tackle for the Dolphins, maybe now that he's a free agent and he's visited a couple teams too on top of all that, but he hasn't signed. So he might be looking for some money off of the play. But the problem is what happened. He suffered an injury at the end of the year, which now hurts his free agent status because you were kind of uneven in your play, but then you found a home for a couple of weeks with the Dolphins, and then you got injured. So they don't know what you're getting. You see what I'm saying? There's got to be a plan in place. And then the other thing is that I keep telling you all, they like Austin Jackson and they like Liam Eichenberg, no matter what you and I think. And that's the other thing that a lot of you have to get over. And you have to understand that they're not done with them yet. They're not convinced yet that they're failures. You're convinced that Austin Jackson's a failure. You're convinced that Liam Eichenberg's a failure. But they're not. They only had him for 1 year and an injury-riddled year. And they feel like they were making progress under them. And maybe they will. Who knows? They're the pros. We're not. So we'll see how this plan develops for the right tackle position. Brian Landis is in. Miles Deep is in. Lisa Rose is in. Emilio's checking in from Houston. Michael Daniels is in. By the way, thank God for Texas in one sense. Not that I would, but man, they are stepping up big time for Bitcoin. So that's they get it. The Republicans get it more than the Democrats. The Democrats are completely lost. They're setting the country back with this new technology, but that's how we are. We're a stupid country at times. Michael Daniels is in the house, listening from Dallas, Texas. Go Fins. Screw the Cowboys. I like it. That's my kind of Dallas fan right there. A Dolphins fan in the middle of cowgirls country. I like it. Giovanni Castelloni. Howdy, all. Billy Shaw is in. Ragin says, and now that YouTube has Sunday Ticket next season, it's even better. Yeah. Have they announced yet, ladies and gentlemen, if they're adding the packages for individual teams yet? Has YouTube announced that yet? I don't know. I haven't looked, so I'm going by pure ignorance right now. But the word was that YouTube was going to add not just a Sunday Ticket, but an individual package. So for Dolphin fans all over the world, you can just buy the Dolphin games. So it'll be a smaller cost than buying the whole ticket, and maybe you don't even care about following. You can watch the regular national channels, CBS, Fox, whatever, NBC that carry the regular games. You'll watch those, but at least you get your Dolphins out of market. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they added that, but that is a great idea if they do that, because I think that's really, really important. Really important. Isaiah is in the house. Brad Hardinger is in. He says he still watches Hogan's Heroes. It's so good, isn't it? So good. So good. Alex Toledo, great Heat win last night. I know we are worried about Jimmy Butler falling off, but man, he's not going to fall off now. I'm talking about the next couple of years. That's when he'll fall off. He won't fall off now. He's still playing at a high level. Maybe you get another year like this, but that contract will not end well. That's maybe next year, but the next 3 years could be terrible, or 2 out of the next 3 years could be terrible, but that's where I would be worried about it, Karen Joseph is out in Port St. Lucie. Thank you, Karen, for tuning in. George Albanese is in. King Short in. Did you see DJ Fluker, man? Got better. Do you bring him back? I mean, I'm sure they reached out. You know, I know that he looked strong and all that stuff, but I don't know where his, lower part of his body is at, where his knees are at. It's the stuff you can't tell. I wouldn't pay Odell even $5 million. Yes, I wouldn't want Odell on my team, period. DJ Fluker looked ripped. Yeah, he did. He did, but it's not about the top part. It's about the bottom part. That's what you worry about. Let's see. Dougie Fresh. Odell is as reliable as Yoko is as a band manager. George says, great job with Kohu's interview, bud. He appears to be a great kid with a bright future. Definitely try and get more of those type of interviews in the future. At 4:00, baby. Alec Ingold, Dolphins fullback, will be joining us. We've been promoting it since last week. So Alec will be joining us today at 4:00. And I've got some fantastic questions for him, I think. And I believe it's going to be a really cool interview that you're going to enjoy. I think it's an interview that every human being needs to kind of listen to, because we all go through adversity. Lord knows I've gone through my share of adversity, just like many of you have, just like Sean goes through his share of adversity. We all do in life. We all face all kinds of adversity, and it's a great person to have on to talk about stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to talking to Alec Ingold at 4:00. Big O, the whole Dolphins FO is at Alabama's Pro Day looking at O-line. Well, we will see. Let's see. What's the pricing again? Was I talking about pricing? What was I talking about?
I think he's referring probably to the package for YouTube, but that hasn't been released yet.
Oh, I don't think it's been released yet. Apparently, Sean looked it up now.
Yeah, but this is from an interview last month. They said they don't think they're going to go team by team, but they will give fewer games for lesser price, is what they're looking at.
No, that's not good, because you have to be guaranteed of your team.
Yeah, but
yeah. So you're gonna be, if you have to pay for the whole ticket, then you're gonna be paying $300 or whatever it is, something crazy.
Probably be more than that, because DirecTV paid $1.5 billion,
right?
And theirs was $290 something.
Yeah.
YouTube paid $2 billion. So.
Yeah. Spooky says, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I had to buy the season ticket last year, and I thought it was worth every penny. Of course. Yeah, man. If you're a fan, it's worth it for sure. When are the crypto sponsored shows? Well, when I think when it all bounces back fully, then I think you'll see them spending more money on advertising. But at the moment, I don't think so, because everything's Huh? Oh, you're talking about my crypto? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, but he says sponsored. No, it's no, I do have to do one, because I got a lot of shit that I want to get off my chest. Let me just give you something, because you saw the banks collapse last week, right? Just to give you a little something there, just a stat. You want a stat that you want to hear a stat that's going to blow your freaking mind away? Are you ready for this? Okay, so you hear FDIC insured, correct? And Janet Yellen was cornered yesterday because Powell kind of screwed up and said, no, yeah, we're back in the banks. And Janet was, no. We will decide on what banks to save. And, I'm paraphrasing, but basically they will vote on what. And listen, if your bank isn't important enough, which small and medium-sized banks are not important enough, okay? JP Morgan is important to them. Citicorp is important to them. Bank of America is important to them. Chase is important to them. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that are important to them. So FDIC insured, you hear about that, right? Did you know that the FDIC has somewhere in the neighborhood of $125 billion in order to protect consumers? Do you know how much there's deposited? They have $125 billion. Take or give $1 billion or $2 billion. Might be 120, might be 130. Do you know how much they're protecting? 9.5 trillion. 9.5 trillion. Do your homework. Understand what's going on here. I'm just saying. And you know what? Bitcoin went on a dip and then bounced right back. Right back. And it went back to 28,000. It's right at 28,000 again. It went up to 28,500. I'm thinking, wow, is it going to push to 29 already in the midst of all this crap? And eventually people will figure out, and they'll figure out that their money is dying. Okay? I mean, since 2020, when the pandemic started, we have printed more than half of the money that we ever had in circulation. And how do you think they're saving all these banks now that just happened? They're printing trillions more now. There's I mean, just whatever. But it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous what's going on. It's a real shame. And most people won't know about it until it hits them right in the face. And a lot of people are going to end up losing their money, period, in banks. Because it's not all insured and will not be insured. And they will not just open up the printer and print that many trillion. They're not. They're gonna let banks go, except for a couple of the big ones. That's who they're gonna save. So that's why a lot of people are moving all their money out of smaller and mid-sized banks, and they're going over to Chase and Bank of America and Citibank and all that kind of stuff. And this is happening all over the place. Jules says, doing my last community service today with the Big O. 100 hours of picking up trash for my city. Wow. Oh, nice job. There you go. You've done a lot more than we ever have, Jules. Andrew Harris is in. Isaiah says, Big O, your thoughts on Ohtani? I believe he will command the biggest contract in baseball history. Dude, my real problem with this, Isaiah, is that he doesn't play for the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Mets or the Astros or the Cubs, because if you're going to play for a bad organization or a cheap organization, then you're just ruining the talent. And that, to me, the crime of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, like rotting in the Angels, is disgusting. Okay? And I know it sucks that baseball only has a couple of teams and the rest is garbage. Nobody cares about the rest of the teams, but it is what it is, right? So, I mean, if I'm going to enjoy baseball, at least put Ohtani where he could actually win something, dude. You know? I get it. He's going to command a hell of a salary, and you are 1,000% right, my friend. But my bigger crime and my bigger, as a baseball guy, okay, because I know most of you don't care about baseball. I get it. I see it on hell, most of you don't care about what's going on with the Heat or the Panthers this year. I see it on the downloads and the responses and the views and all that. Last year, it was different. Last year, it was explosive. This year, it has not been. You guys get tuned out right away. And so with baseball, that's my crime, that Ohtani is not somewhere where he can really actually win something. I felt good for him with the with the World Series, because damn, dude, at least he gets to win something. You know? Cool. I like it. Isaiah, thank you, my man. He sent in some Bitcoin. I love it. You know, that's my favorite right there. Great, great, great. Thank you, sir, for a little Bitcoin donation. Very nice of you. Thank you, Isaiah. That is very nice. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. That's Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. All right. Yeah. By the way, we're going to move our Metallica trip to Mexico City in 2024. Why do you think we're doing that? My wife's telling me every day, are you sure you want to go to Mexico? Because I'm not really happy about that, you know? And And then they're starting to like kidnap people now and all that. And it's like, yeah. I think we're going to Seattle. I think we're going to switch Mexico City for Seattle. That's what we're going to do. So, Brian Landis, thank you for the love and the super chat, sir. Good afternoon, Big O. Always look forward to your show and enjoy whenever you interview current and former Dolphin players. Thank you. And we'll hopefully have one that you guys will like with Alec Ingold coming up. Mike Dizzle is in the house. Thank you for the love and the super chat, sir. He says, the other day when you had Cater on, you all talked about runners who ran hard. I found this year's Isaiah Pacheco. When you get a chance, check out Deneric Prince from Tulsa, 6 foot 215, 441. I will check him out. Okay, I will definitely check him out. Yeah, Pacheco he's definitely a hard-nosed runner, like the kid from Dallas that we talked about that passed away. What's his name now? I'm forgetting now. I'm brain farting. Damn it. Rest in peace. Yeah, I know. The chat room will get it before we will now because I'm brain farting. But yeah, we were comparing those hard-nosed runners and Marion Barber. There you go. Got it before the chat board. FDIC can borrow from the Treasury. This is nothing new. Holding money with banks, stocks, notes, and bonds, investments, and etc. is where majority are focusing on. Ray says the Angels have been blessed with 2 generational players and will only win 70 games. I know it's disgusting. Yep. Please tell me Sherman will sell to a real owner and with money like Master Ruiz. Apparently, he doesn't have any intentions on selling, which is the depressing part. Ragin says, my money is a locally owned credit union because I have nothing but problems with big banks. Yep, that's what big banks are. Because all the politics are played in it. They get to pick and choose who gets money. Ask minorities who are passed over all the time for loans and small business loans, and they're not given a chance to grow. That's why I keep telling you, decentralized financing is going to free everyone in the world. It'll happen. It's just going to take some time. It'll be a shell shock thing that most of you, you're not used to it. So since you've never done it, it's hard to get used to something you've never done in your life. And eventually you got used to your cell phone. You got used to using the internet. You got used to using email. You'll realize that crypto is the way. You'll realize crypto is what detaches you from big government and big taxes and service fees all over the place. It's ridiculous. So, but it'll happen. I'm not concerned about it. I know where it's going, but I feel bad for a lot of people that are being misled and all of that, and they believe the stupid things the lies that they tell you on from our government, telling you our banks and Biden telling you that everything is kosher and everything's good. No, it's not. Stop lying to people, dude. It's ridiculous. There's like almost 200 banks that are insolvent. Seriously. They don't have your money. Sorry, but they don't have your money. If everybody went to go get their money, over. There'll be a lot of people that won't get their money. Saw what happened in Nigeria. I think I showed it to you guys. They were lighting banks on fire. Yeah. Good afternoon, Big O. What is your favorite cigar? When my disability kicks in, I'm going to bring you a couple of long-time listener. Look forward to you and Sean. Thank you so much. Fins up all day, every day. Thank you, sir. Listen, Perdomo, the 20th anniversary or the 10th anniversary Maduros are golden for me. If we're talking about a Cuban cigar, the H. Upmann Magnum 50. That's my favorite cigar from the island, is H. Upmann Magnum 50. That is That thing will grow hair on your chest. It's a full body cigar. I'm big on full body cigars. I don't mind light cigars, but that's usually a midday cigar or something like that. But usually in the afternoon or the evening after I've had a good meal, I like myself a Maduro. So a 10th or a 20th anniversary from Perdomo is money in the bank. But if we're talking Cuban, H. Upmann Magnum 50. That thing is just, oh my God. I love that freaking cigar. Ohtani had a choice between the Yankees and Angels, and he chose the Angels. You know why he chose it, JT? Do you know why? West Coast, bro. More of your people are on the West Coast. He wasn't probably thinking, he probably thought he was going to win anyway, and now he realizes it. And I would imagine that this next contract, he might make a move now. You know, he might leave instead. But an Asian player is going to pick the West Coast more often than not because we have more Asians living on the West Coast than in anywhere in the country. So there's a lot of Chinatowns all over the West Coast. You can find one in LA, you can find one in San Francisco, you can find one in Seattle. You know, you're going to have all kinds of areas like that on the West Coast. I mean, Jesus, in Houston, the signs, the street signs are in English, Spanish, and Chinese. There are street signs in Houston that are in Chinese because of, you know, Yao going there and then the major Asian population that's there. So you gravitate. A Hispanic player, where do you think they want to play? If they have a chance. We suck because we have a terrible owner, but they're going to want to play in Miami. You know what I mean? If we had like a real owner, Latin players would pick Miami, especially Cuban players. Why? Because your own is here. So that's really why I would imagine Ohtani chose that, okay? Not that every Far East player does that. Some have chosen the Yankees. It's not the first time, right? The Fat Toad chose the Yankees, didn't he? Steinbrenner was brutal, bro. But that mother wanted to win, and that's all he did. I give him credit. Let's see. Will we ever see another running back get drafted in the top 5? I think it might happen. It has to be like a freak of all freaks. But yeah, somebody like that. And then that team, it's like a perfect storm. They need that running back to kind of complete it. And then this is like one of those franchise altering type of players. I could see it happening again, but it's going to be rare, dude. It's going to be rare. It might happen, but it'll happen maybe once in the next 15, 20 years. But it'll be rare. But it has to be like a super, super freak talent that's at running back. If that comes out, yeah, I can see that. Oh, I still use a rotary phone and wear a monocle. There you go. Nice job by you, Colonel Klink. Jets acquire another second rounder in order to try to give Green Bay 2 second rounders instead of a first, but that won't work. Yep, that might be the case. Japan is closer from the West Coast. It's the Pacific. No, I get all. Plus, your people are there, bro. Right? See, even Alarmo was like leaning back going, come on, guys. It's simple. It's simple math. It's simple math that if you go to naturebee.com/Big O, simple math tells you you're only paying 85 cents a day for amazing protection. Those 2 golden capsules that I take every day, you can do the same thing. You know, listen, if you've been watching this show for a couple of years now, if you've been listening to me for a decade or 2, you'll notice one thing. You'll go, that dude rarely has a cold. And that's because for over 20 years, I've been taking Nature Bee every single freaking day. And maybe that's why my hair is fuller. Maybe that's why my nails grow so fast. And ladies, you're going to love that about Nature Bee. And, you know, if you want your nails to grow, boy, they will grow fast with Nature Bee. Highlight and libido, gentlemen. Allergy relief for all of us out there. Less stress, muscle recovery, and boosting that immune system and giving you that extra energy. I mean, the benefits of plant pollen are endless. So when we talk about Nature Bee and we talk about bee pollen, it is just absolutely amazing. You can look it up for yourself and check out all the benefits. This is grown in clean green New Zealand, straight from Mother Earth, not made in some lab somewhere. Folks, right now, 100-day supply. That's over 3 months. 2 capsules a day. You're only paying 85 cents a day. Go to naturebee.com/bigo, and we're going to throw in a free Manuka honey lip balm, all for free. naturebee.com/bigo, and feel the power of pollen. You and your kids can do it, by the way. My daughter, who's now 22, but she's been taking it since she was a kid. We want to try to eliminate the germs coming into the home, man. You know what I mean? And when your kids are going to school, boy, they're hanging around a whole bunch of other kids. And then they're bringing the big nasties home. You got to protect yourself. So naturebee.com/bigo. Order it and use our code. Be well, Orlando. Saludos desde Panama City, Panama. Go Fins. It's a fun place. Every time I've ever gone to Panama City, I have always had a good time. Okay? Always. Good place. Haven't been to Panama in a couple of decades. Yeah. Maybe one day if there's a concert or something, I can go down to Panama again and check it out. Kyle Lowry is actually playing decent. Yeah. You know, last night, Heat won. We haven't talked about this. Good win for the Heat last night, man. 127-120. Butler was awesome as always. 35 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 steals. Hero shot well also. 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Bam is back to passive Bam again, right? Like, he's not really taking the 18 shots a game anymore. Like, I keep checking. Last night was 5 of 11, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. You know, and Lowry, you're right, played well, man. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists last night. They controlled the big man, Randall. They didn't allow Julius to get crazy on him like they did last time. So Spo adjusted to that, like he always adjusts to everything because he's freaking awesome. Guy's just amazing. He's the savior of that Heat franchise right now. Just want you to know, he is the MVP of that franchise the last 10 years. Yeah, I said it. No, he's the MVP of that franchise since 2010. Not Riley. It's Spo. Okay? Spo is the ultimate chef in the kitchen. Never seen a guy like this. Guy's an absolute freaking badass is what he is. And he hit, 700 wins yesterday. So he became the 4th coach in NBA history to hit 700 wins with one franchise. Riley never hit 700 with the Heat. It's crazy, right? I'm telling you, this guy is as special as it gets as a coach. You know, he doesn't bring the pizzazz of Red Auerbach lighting up the cigar. He doesn't have Pat Riley's style and, you know, Armani suits and, you know, and the whistle on the sidelines and directing everything, controlling everything and ripping into people in press conferences. And, you know, he doesn't bring that. He doesn't have the Popovich, you know, snapping at people. He's a different dude. He's an under the radar guy. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't point fingers. He doesn't get into any kind of public crap with any of his players or coaches or anything like that. He tries to keep everything, you know, kind of consistent. You know, did we have bump gate? Yeah. Did we have massage gun gate? Yeah, of course. Got a couple things are going to pop up because life happens. It is what it is. But was it Spo that was doing it? No, it was the other people that were kind of, you know, initiating all that kind of stuff. And he had to fight the whole LeBron thing that LeBron wanted to replace his ass. And then you give him all those journeymen and he goes into the kitchen and gives you 31-10 in the second half of a season, and you're like, holy shit, how is this guy winning this many games with these bums? And I mean it, bums. Like, you gave him bums, and he went out and almost made the playoffs and was beating the freaking Warriors. Like, who does that? Erik Spoelstra, man. Erik Spoelstra, I'm telling you, he's a freaking stud, man. He's a stud. And they need to do better in the front office and ownership for him. Okay? Because before you know it, and then he wants to step down. And I don't know who's coming next. And there's no guarantee anybody's going to be close to Riley or Spo. So while you have Spo there, you might want to do a much better job of getting the players that you kind of need to win a championship. That's all I'm saying. But great win, well, not a great win, but a good win yesterday for the Heat. That was a solid win. They got Brooklyn on Saturday. They can't keep screwing around. They got to get on a roll here and finish strong so they can, lock up a decent spot in the playoffs. Try to avoid that stinking play-in, dude. If you can do that. I know it's going to be hard, but would be nice if you can do that. Actually, Spo has been the savior since 2008. There's a reason the Heat have only 2 losing seasons with Spo. Never forgot Pat Riley won 15 games in his last year. Spo's worst year is 38 losses with journeyman and a 45-year-old Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Spo's a badass, bro. Spo's just an absolute badass. I'm interested in the upcoming NFL season. AFC East will be interesting. Yes, it will, JT. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. We've got FAU playing tonight at 9. We've got Nova playing here in the afternoon. So we've got 2 local teams. Nova, obviously, in Division II, Final Four, and FAU in the Sweet 16. They're at MSG. How cool is it for the Owls? Like, you would really, it's hard to even imagine FAU in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament in a regular world. In today's world, where really there's true parity and there really isn't studly teams anymore and all that, you got a shot. And FAU has put themselves in a position now where they're in the Sweet 16, and those kids are going to play at Madison Square Garden. That's freaking awesome tonight. I'm gonna watch that just because, one, it's a local team. So obviously I root for Nova, I root for FAU, I root for FIU, I root for UM, I root for anything and everything local. Okay, always. I'm a hometown guy, born and raised here. I'm always going to root for South Florida first over anything, okay? But it's just a cool thing to have FAU in the tournament along with the University of Miami. It's pretty awesome. And if they're able to beat number 4 Tennessee and advance to the Elite 8, Jesus, man, that story has just the potential of getting better and better and better. And then tomorrow we've got the U in the Sweet 16. The ladies play on Saturday, right? If I'm correct. I want to say Katie Meyer plays on Saturday. Am I right? Or Friday? No, it's Saturday. They play Saturday, Sunday. The men play Friday, Saturday. Or maybe Sunday, Monday. Yeah, maybe you're right, because they did play on a Monday to advance. So yeah, no, you're right. They probably play Sunday, not Saturday. You're right. It's probably Sunday, Monday, because the men play Friday, Saturday. That way it doesn't overlap and doesn't take away from the other. So that makes a lot of sense. Chad and Spooky both live in Charlotte. Both Dolphin fans. That's what I love when fans actually run into each other on this chat board. That's why a lot of times I tell you always, put where you're from too, because others may see it, and that's pretty cool, because then you guys can relate, Like I when we started this thing, I realized we had several people up north, like I'm talking about northern New York, in the Buffalo and Rochester area, several Dolphin fans that tune in all the time. And then they found out about it, like Ragin and Lisa probably didn't know each other, and then they found out about each other on the chat board and all that because they're from the same area. So I always find that cool. Yeah? What is it? When do they play?
Friday, Saturday.
Oh, yeah? The women play at 2:30? Okay. All right, so that's good. At least we get off at 1, and we have time to get home and watch the ladies. All right, that's cool. I'll take it. All right. Oh, maybe the women are playing. So maybe the women are playing early and the men are playing later in the afternoon, evening. Is that what they're doing? Maybe that's what it is. Because, yeah, there's only a couple games. There's only 2 games each day. 4 games each day. So, yeah, that could be that they're playing a little later in the afternoon. Who knows? Damn. Big O, do you think the Finns should still draft a QB? Paul in Connecticut. If Hendon Hooker's there in the second round, I would take a. I wouldn't mind taking a chance on him. I don't think you can get in. You can't draft enough QBs. Yeah, we got it, Brian. Thank you for the help. Appreciate you, man. As always, looking out for us. It's awesome seeing FAU plastered all over Times Square. I know, right? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Zeke is actually considering playing for the Eagles. Shocker. A player wants to go play for a team in the same division to stick it to their former team who is moving on from them. And it shows you about running backs, brother, that they're not going to get the respect. And for you to get a second contract as a running back is such a difficult task, dude. It really is. Back over 28,000 for Bitcoin, 28,175. It is, man, it is showing like bullish features to all of this. It really is. It's fought through all this adversity and it has continued to climb. And I think the banking stuff has also kind of helped that some people are waking up and realizing what the hell is going on. And they're realizing that their money really isn't safe. You know what's the hilarious part? Is that when people tell me, well, Bitcoin's too volatile. Well, wait a minute, dude. In 14 years, it went from 0 to $28,000. What's volatility? Oh, no, because it was at 67. Well, wait a minute. Are you stupid? Do you invest? Do you know anything about investing? What asset class goes from 8,000 to 67 and holds? Anybody out there an investor? Okay, because I am. And it doesn't hold. Nothing. Anything that goes parabolic then consolidates. Anything and everything. Okay? The shit went from 8,000 to 67,000. And part of it was back in 2020 because we had a pandemic, people thought a recession was coming, and they poured money into Bitcoin to save their asses from the dollar obviously going lower and lower and lower like it does every year because you buy less and less. But if anybody thinks that it's normal for any asset, does Amazon go to 67,000? Does Microsoft go to 67,000? Does Tesla go to 67,000? I'm trying to check because I want the best stocks in the world, right? Do they ever go there? No. So it shows you the potential of it. That's the part that people get lost in. They get into the naivete that say, well, no, dude, it's too volatile. It went to 67. Yeah, macro, bro. Pull it out. Go 14 years. If you invested 10 years ago, you got a hell of a lot more money now. Bitcoin is up 300% since the start of 2020. Are you listening to me? 300% since the start of 2020. And when it hits 29,000 in next day or 2 or 3, it'll be up 75% from January 1st. What asset does that? None. Don't worry about it. Don't even bother taking a guess or anything. Gold doesn't do it. Silver doesn't do it. Platinum doesn't do it. None of them do it. But the problem is that too many are stuck blindly looking at a small window where it went parabolic and then it went back down again. But then what they don't look at is that the lows are higher every single time. So it'll never reach 16.5 ever again. The next time after you have a next bull run and it has any kind of contraction, it may go to 30 or 40, but you'll never see 16 again. Just like the last time it went to 8, you never saw 8 again. 70% of Bitcoin hasn't moved in 2 years. I read an article yesterday in the Wall Street Journal, and it said this is the lowest time right now of people buying Bitcoin. Well, of course, we're in a bear market. People don't have money. 70% of Bitcoin hasn't moved. There's a percentage of Bitcoin that's already lost from over the years. And who invests in a bear market? Only investors that believe in Microsoft or Tesla or Bitcoin or platinum or gold or whatever. But the average person is not investing right now. The average person is paying their bills, dude. Because we're on the brink of, catastrophic financial failure. So risk stocks and tech stocks all over are down 50, 60, 70, 80%. But again, when you write for the Wall Street Journal and you're writing an article about Bitcoin, that author of it or that writer, he or she doesn't know jack shit about Bitcoin. So they give you the lazy facts that it's right now at the lowest buying rate. So why is that? Is it because people are scared? No, dude. It's because right now there's the lowest buying rate for practically every asset out there. Because right now it's not the time to buy. We're not in a bull market. Nobody did the article mention that? No. Did the article mention that 70% of Bitcoin has not moved in 2 years because people like me are not selling their Bitcoin? Because you're not really supposed to sell it. You're supposed to hodl it. That doesn't mention that in the article. Does it mention that there might be about 4 million of the 21 million that will be mined that are already lost? No, it doesn't mention that. Does it mention that the exchanges are at all-time lows right now with Bitcoin, that they have the least amount of Bitcoin that they've ever had? No, they don't mention those things. It's because if you have to mention that in the Wall Street Journal, it kills your article. But, if you don't follow it and you don't understand it, you're going to talk shit. You're not going to know what the hell you're talking about, like that person in the Wall Street Journal. This is why I tell you a lot of times, for those of you that are keeping up with crypto, be careful where you read, because a lot of the people that are writing don't know shit about crypto. They don't know anything about Bitcoin. They don't even know what a blockchain is. They don't even know what a miner is. They have no idea. And they don't invest. And those are my favorite people. The people that don't have a penny in any market aren't really investors and don't really understand investing. And then you're talking about it? And that's the Wall Street Journal. But I get it. 95% of the world doesn't follow crypto, doesn't really understand what the hell is going on. They hear other people just give you FUD and, fear, uncertainty, and doubt because you don't know any better. So you're listening to them. It's a problem. But anyway, again, like I told you, they say FDIC insured, right? And just let me give you the exact number again, so I don't get it wrong. Okay, the FDIC has around the neighborhood of 125 billion in their reserve to save banks. There's 9.5 trillion in banks in the U.S. They're not saving other banks. In fact, most of them are going to go down. But if you want to pay attention to Yellen, Powell, and Biden, you go ahead and do that. What happens when you get to 20K? A cooking segment? Yes. A cooking segment. We will teach you how to make tacos. Born in 96, I was born into dolphin darkness. The light is coming, Spooky. The light is coming. Don't let him kid you, bro. Good days are ahead for us Dolphin fans. Trust me. Good days are ahead, bro. Watched your first crypto show last night. Do you think it probably that every individual income will be paid out according to the employer's bank currency? I hope I framed that correctly. It's probable that an individual income will be paid out accordingly to the employer's bank or currency. I don't know. Are you talking about if a failed bank, for a failed bank? Is that what you're talking about? I don't understand that question, Emilio. You're going to have to rephrase it for me. Kevin Beal, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O fan from C-Bus, Columbus, Ohio. Chances Tyndall starts. Don't know, man. We got to wait for training camp. You know, I have no idea. I got to watch him. It's like the other day I had one of the listeners ask me, well, what do you think how they're going to use this guy? I don't know. We got to wait. We got to wait and see. I don't know what progress Tyndall has made mentally. I don't know where he's at. So until we watch him on the field and see what Fangio thinks of him, and by the way, God, shit. I just thought about this. Poor kid had to learn one system last year and he was behind. Now he's got to learn a completely new system. So I don't know. We're going to, if Tyndall struggles to take the field again this year, then what it might be is he might be one of those guys that might be a slow learner. That's the part that we won't know until it actually happens. So we will learn where he's at and what he's going to be a part of once the season rolls around. And Ezukanma too. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see where Braylon Sanders is at. Another guy that showed us a little something. They all have talent, but now they've got to put it together. Okay? Big O, those same people telling you not to buy Bitcoin are the same ones buying the dip. No. Usually those are the people the ones that are saying not to buy Bitcoin are the people that usually really don't know anything about it, and they actually think the dollar's strong or something. I had a guy reach out to me, goes, well, you're talking about the dollar currency like it's bad and that's anti-American. And I'm like, yo, dude, no, it's not. That's not about being anti-American. It's about being smart. Who cares about it? We're all Americans. What's being American is looking out for each other. That's actually what I think I'm doing. I'm actually looking out for you, bro. You know, Janet Yellen's not looking out for you. Biden's not looking out for you. I told him, you know what I mean? It's like, you really, you think these people that are in office are actually looking out for us? What's wrong with you? Oh my God. Some people have the blinders on, man. It's a shame. Devin Jordan says, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Says, you got to ask Alec Ingold about his matchup against Dirty Bills linebacker Matt Milano. Okay. All right. We will ask. Big O, it's sad that schools don't teach proper investing, saving, and personal. Well, first they have to know about it. That's the thing. That's very, very tricky. Very tricky. So I'm curious to see if Lamar plays on the tag or gets to deal with a different team next year. I don't think he's going to play on the tag. I don't think he's going to sign it. I think there'll be a holdout. And if they offer him a contract, Baltimore will probably match it. Big O, looking out for one another is all American. Exactly. That's the way I look at it. You know? What's the example? It says that governments all over the world are always for the people. I'm sorry. I can show you way more examples that they're not. Okay? It's not that they're necessarily like completely like scheming against you. It's just they're kind of stupid and they're, some are evil and some are just absolutely dumb and irresponsible. All right, let's take a quick break here. Give us 2 minutes, and hopefully Alec Ingold, Dolphins fullback, will be joining us here at 4 o'clock to start hour number 2 of the Big O Radio Show live from Hialeah Park.
Be there, be there.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Number 2 in a first-class fashion with Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold, kind enough to join us now on the show. Alec, good afternoon, my friend. How are you doing, sir?
What the heck is up, dude? It's what is it, Thursday? Middle of March. Yep. Off-season program has not started yet, but the boys are ready to roll. What an off-season. It's been fun. It's been fun to follow.
Alec, I'm glad you started with that because I'm so pissed, right? Because, dude, I think your season was just about injuries. Yeah. Like, if you guys stayed healthy, look, I know you're going to have some injuries. It's the most brutal game in the world outside of hockey. It's hard to stay healthy. So I get you're going to have some injuries, but the injuries were just ridiculous this year. Right. And it just got to a point where it really derailed the season. And yet you guys almost beat the Bills in the playoffs. And so then I got all these media members. Right. And I've been, obviously, I'm a member of the media for the last 33 years. But I got all these people spewing all this negative crap all over the place. And to me, I've told the Dolphin Nation, I'm even more excited about this season because you guys should have been better last year. And now you're adding more pieces to the puzzle. You're going to get more guys back. You'll get Trill back. You'll get Nick Needham back. You're going to get guys back that are actually going to help you that were injured last year. You're going to be deeper. Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg haven't had like injury-riddled careers yet last year, dude. Like it's just like they didn't get a chance to grow. So for me, I'm really psyched about this season. So I feel what you guys are feeling. And I hope that the rest of the Dolphin Nation is feeling this because I'm convinced, and I haven't been this way in over 2 decades, Alec, you guys are headed in the right direction now, finally.
I like that. That's a long-winded intro to a big season. I feel like, but you're spot on. And I think injuries obviously play a part. There were a lot of guys that could have done, a lot more. But at the end of the day, I think in the locker room too, there wasn't very much like moral victories either. Like, I know that a lot of guys that were healthy throughout the season that wanted to win ball games, like we know that there's an accountability to this thing too. Like we left plays out there as players. And I think that's what's cool is you kind of benefit from both sides. You want to improve on both ways, right? Like we weren't good enough and all of these things were handcuffing us. Sure. Cool. Other people can talk about that, but we're just going to focus on how we can continue to be better and keep giving ourselves chances to win ball games.
I'm with you there. And by the way, just to have a little fun here, your Twitter account is AI, obviously Alec Ingold _.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Roman numerals 45.
Yeah.
Right. So Duke Riley has 45. So I'm just wondering, were there ever any negotiations when you first got here? Because obviously 45 is important to you because you've kept it on your Twitter handle. That's not what you're wearing on the field right now. So I'm wondering, any negotiations with Duke Riley for 45?
Yeah, it was one of those first things. Like 45 is normally a pretty available number. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going many places where there's a 45. And so, you know, I had a mutual connection with Duke. One of my boys from LSU roomed with him. So what's up, Duke? What's up, man? Breaking bread, whatever, having conversation. He's like, yeah, 45 is my number. It's like, all right, you respect it. You respect it. You left it there. Leave it alone. And I think it was time for a little blank slate. And I'm not doing Roman numerals for 30 either. So if you got any ideas about that, we're not going there. I was number 45 for 7 years of my life, and that's when any recommendation for rookies, don't put numbers in logos, don't put numbers in Twitter handles, whatever, because it's just going to change. And then we're going to have this conversation. And then Roman numerals were cool, and now it's not. And it's a whole deal. It's a whole thing. It's like don't tattoo your boyfriend or girlfriend's name on you, right? 100%. Just that's forever. Twitter handles are forever, just like tattoos. Exactly. Yeah, that's it, bro. So I was wondering about that 45. I was going, damn, dude. He had to have some kind of negotiations going on there. So explain to us how Alec Ingold evolved into a fullback. Take us back. I'm going to take you. Yeah, we're going to take a stroll all the way back to the high school days, playing quarterback. One of the biggest kids on the football field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's not the biggest hotbed it's not American Heritage. It's not St. Thomas Aquinas. You know, it's Bayport High School. But we had some a year in, and you learn quickly. Damn. Yeah. Hey, you got a house down here. All of a sudden, you start following Friday Night Lights. Okay. No, but that was kind of. I had an offer, mid-major, NIU. Okay, you could do that. You could go that route, or really late offer at Wisconsin as an athlete, and we're just going to figure it out. So to be able to kind of take that leap of faith and like go with the big dogs, go in that dream offer and put that pride to the side of quarterback, and just now it's serve the team, find a way onto the football field, figure out what you're good at, and show up and trust some coaches. So I think that was a decision I made when I was 18 years old. And that goes from quarterback to linebacker to running back to fullback. And it was just that mindset of, man, I'm going to make sure these guys find a spot for me on the field, and I'm going to play. And it doesn't really matter what position. Football is football. I love playing it. And that's how you kind of become a fullback nowadays, I guess. No, I got you. Do you still throw the ball around? I love to throw the ball. So the broken thumb on the right hand from this last year, I broke it on Christmas. It's been a little hindering on the whole quarterback thing. You know, okay. I can't warm up the old gunslinger anymore. I got you. We're still in rehab protocols. I still have to touch all my fingers. That's why they signed Mike White. You were going to take that spot, but they said, the thumb wasn't working. So they gave it to Mike White. Is that what happened? Yeah, it was an insurance thing. I get it. It's whatever. It's fine. I'm working on my Madden reads on cover 2 and cover 4 now. So, and that also doubles as the thumb exercises. So I'm still working. All right, you got to get it because we got to have a fullback option one day. I can see Tua tossing it to you, and then you're rolling, and they think you're gonna run it with it, and you just throw it to Tyreek or Waddle for a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I like it. What personnel are we going to be in? Is this going to be a goal line personnel, or is this like normal down and distance? No, we're going to fool them completely. We're going to make them think goal line completely at that moment, and you're just going to psych them out, dude. I love it. I love it. That's it, bro. Rob Hunt will follow with you down the right side. You are a right-handed quarterback, correct? I'm a right-handed quarterback. What if Rob Hunt actually plays center? and they don't know where the ball is. But it was, I think maybe you put out the punter or the kicker out there too, just to really, he's out at wide receiver. Is he going to punt the ball right now on third down? Who knows? Okay. It's going to be the wildest of wild card plays.
I love it. I got to ask you also, when you talk about your book, The 7 Crucibles, and it obviously you're an inspirational person, and I've followed some of the interviews that you've done, and this kind of came from your injury, your knee injury, is kind of where you're in that dark place and you found a way to find a positive out of it. And I relate a lot to that, because one of my sayings that I have to everybody is that success is fed off of failure. And to me, that's how it is, right? I mean, Michael Jordan got cut from his junior high team. You know what I'm saying? We fall off the bike and we got to get back on again. It's everything's about failure. You start writing for the first time and it's not even legible, but then you practice and then it becomes legible. Life is all about failure and then coming back from it, or having setbacks in life. It really all depends on how you look at it and how you attack it. You know what I mean? Either you want to go down that negative hole, or you want to say, okay, how do I overcome? And that's one of the beauties of what you have written about with the 7 Crucibles.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I think there's a lot of moments in your life where you really get introduced to yourself all over again. You have some awareness of what your priorities are, what your routine is, what your habits are. And it's like when you get something stripped away from you, when it's an ACL, when it's becoming undrafted, when it's whatever you're dealing with, I think, a late scholarship offer, you could run down the list. Those pieces of adversity, you really understand, like, dang, like this is how bad I want it. This is what I'm willing to go through. This is how I'm going to adjust. This is how I'm going to figure out my priorities. This is how I'm going to reschedule things so that all of those no's can eventually turn into yeses. Those failures can turn into successes. And I think that process and how you go about it is so much more important on your approach rather than the results of it. Like, I'm going to write down big goals. I'm going to write down crazy goals. I'm going to write down scary goals. And I'm going to figure out a way to get any possible inch closer to that, right? And you're just going to keep going down that lane and that path until you become the best version of yourself. And I think that's really the whole main premise of that book. And when you have a torn ACL and you can't walk, you can't play, and then, a GM comes in, brings you in an office and says, we don't need you anymore. That's where, all right, how am I going to adjust? How am I going to react? How am I going to take these external circumstances that aren't ideal and make it into exactly what it was meant to be? And I feel like that's kind of that fight that everyone goes through. I've had the same kind of, experiences being in radio for 33 years. It's a terrible business and you have your ups and downs. And for me, one of the things that I find is that I can't feed negativity. I will not feed negativity, because if I feed negativity, it's just going to lead me somewhere where I'm not going to be in a good place. And I remembered when at one time I was at a one station and they had this thing, they brought this new general manager in and he had this thing about how he wanted to style the format, this, that, whatever. And he basically told me, we're going to go with athletes only on air and not traditional broadcasters. And we're going to move you to nights. And I had 12 sponsors. And I'm like, well, what happens with my sponsors? And all that. And he was like, well, don't worry, we will move some of them around. And I said, I said, no, this is not going to work. And I left and I went to another station that nobody listens to. But the following went with me. I had a great time, and I wasn't willing to be put in the corner that they wanted to put me in. You know what I mean? And then when I went to that place, it went chapter 11 4 years later. And then I found myself back to where I left because they wanted me back, because they realized that they kind of needed me. You know what I'm saying? So for me, what I'm asking you now is, I refuse to give in to negativity. When something bad happens to me, okay, I immediately turn to, how do I change this right away? Because I'm not going to feel like this. So what do you do? Because I know what I do, because I refuse to give into it. So when you had that knee injury, when you've had other setbacks that maybe you can talk about,
what is that motivating factor for you? Because my motivating factor is screw you. You're not getting me negativity. That's kind of the way I am about it.
Yeah, I think the first step is really understanding those intrusive thoughts, those negative emotions. It happens to everybody. So like embracing that, understanding that, like realizing that it's real. Like it is what it is. The second step is understanding that you control your thought after the thought. You control how you think about that original intrusive thought, which is what you're saying, right? You're going to go, listen, I feel that, I hear it. That's what happened. Here's how I can flip it. And that's a fight. And that's a muscle. That's something that doesn't get any easier as you go down that road. Like it's hard to fight, to stay positive every single day of your life. Like it's impossible. But if you build some habits, you build some standards about yourself, then you're able to stand on something. You're able to draw a line in the sand, know what you stand for, because something matters that much to you. And I feel like the final piece on execution and really like following through on eliminating those intrusive thoughts, controlling your thought after the thought, is really just being able to be yourself, to be able to bring life to it, to be able to take actionable steps. And like, you feel a certain way, but man, your standard, your priorities, your habits, your routine, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. Like show up and do the work anyways. Nobody cares. Work harder. Be better.
Right.
You know, like don't take offense to it. Don't take it personally. Taking something personally about going undrafted and 32 general managers and head coaches not saying you're good enough, is that on them or is that on me?
Right.
Like, let's just take it for what it is. Let's not let those intrusive thoughts in. And then let's go be better. Because at the end of the day, you're not good enough right now. And that's a similar thing on the ACL is like, man, you can have all of the negative thoughts in the world. I'm going to control my thought after the thought. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to want to be a better fullback after this injury than before. That's what I said I was going to do. And now let's stand on it. Let's be about it. So I feel like that's kind of my process.
And I think one of the things that's also really important for all of us, and it doesn't always happen, we got to believe in ourselves first and foremost. Okay. If we don't believe in ourselves, then you're going to have a hard time convincing anybody else, to believe in you. But when somebody does believe in you, it's obviously an incredible lift. You're in the rehab process coming off that injury, and Chris Grier picks up the phone and, reaches out to you guys to bring you in. That says a lot about the general manager, and that says a lot to you as a person that they believe in you even when you're not at your best at this moment.
Yeah, I think that's something where you have a phone call with general manager, a head coach, an offensive coordinator, running back coach, and they're all on the same page. Like there's all alignment there. There's a vision for your role. There's a vision for how you can improve. There's a vision for your skill set, how we can use you in the offense. Like, dude, that's all I needed to hear. It's the external circumstances, that external validation, like it's there and it feels good and it's motivating, but it's not forever. Like that can get you so far. And then the rest of it is on you, believing in yourself, like you said, first and foremost. Like that conviction, that comes from within inside. And if you have that environment around you, that support system, those people that are willing to invest in you and support you and, do the right things to be able to help you be the best version of yourself, man, then it's a wrap. Then it's a wrap. Then it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time before, things start clicking, the momentum starts building. It's that flywheel. Like, man, we're going to push this thing up the hill and it's going to be tough, but that momentum starts to build and things just start flowing. And then you're able to put together a season and a career that you're proud of.
Alec Ingold, fullback for the Miami Dolphins, joining us. Follow him on Twitter at AI_XLV. All right. So I got to say, and again, you obviously have, since you're writing that book, since, kind of analyzing the depths of darkness at times that we all go through, Foster Moreau just got some, disappointing news, unfortunately, and that he has lymphoma. And I love the way he responded that, hey, basically I'm going to go kick cancer's ass. And here you are retweeting it. And so, I thought that was really cool too, that you are on board with somebody else and helping them, mentally, like, hey, I'm on your bandwagon now. I'm going to help you at the same time emotionally fight this thing. I thought that was cool on your part.
Man, Foster and I, we roomed in a Hampton Inn and Suites in Alameda, California for 4 months straight. So we became very close as rookies in that draft class, or undrafted class. And, he's going to be in my wedding. He's going to be, we're really tight. And those are the type of brotherhood moments, the hours that you put in together, the sacrifice, the preparation phase. That's what makes locker room so special. That's what makes coach and player relationships so special, is because of all that time behind closed doors where you are going all in on something, where you believe on the same thing, the same vision. And whether you're going to succeed or fail, man, you're going to put everything you have into it. And that's the type of dude Foster is. That's the type of guy that I try to learn from, get inspired with. I'm actually older than him, right? But like, I learned so much from that man and how he approached things. I have no doubt that he's going to do what he says and kick cancer's ass. But man, that was a tough phone call to get from him. Because you go so far with people, right? And you build so many great relationships in this business, and to have that stripped away from him for the foreseeable future because he's going to be fighting his own body, man, that's crazy. But you know what type of man he is, you know how he's going to approach it. And it's there's not a doubt in my mind he's going all in on that thing, and he's going to be back. So in whatever facet he determines, it's going to be on his circumstance. That's for sure.
Awareness is something that is so important in life. And obviously you have written a book on having the awareness of, hey, listen, we all go through tough times and how you fight through it. Have you found yourself to be a little bit more of a motivator, a guy that's trying to help people like Moreau in these tough moments where you reach out and pick up the phone? Have you done it? Maybe you don't have to say who the player is. Last year during the Dolphins season, maybe there was one of your teammates that you reached out for. Has that been a part of your life now too? Because obviously as an adopted child, you know what it's like, how important it is to have support from different people, not just the people that you directly live with.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. And it's something where I think leadership comes from all the little things, all the little details, right? And being a leader, being a motivator, that title can mean so many different things to so many different people. I think if you're yourself, which I think Coach McDaniel is himself genuinely 100% through, he's able to lead a group of men because he is who he is and he stands on what he stands on. And when you're able to follow suit with something like that, you're able to go into the cold tubs, you're able to go into a practice facility, you're able to go in a weight room and be yourself. And that gives you the courage, that confidence, that conviction to have those little conversations when y'all are sending it, when y'all are dog tired during a conditioning test, during quarters that we have during training camp, and it's 99 degrees and 99% humidity out there. And those little conversations with people that end up building a culture, that end up building an identity for a team. Like that's the thing. So, I mean, you talk about having one phone call or whatever, man, it's a million during the day. It's every interaction. You got to be you all the time. And if people can hold each other accountable to that, you notice when people are off, you know what to say, you know how to say it, you know how to bring them along when they're not feeling it. Right. And I feel like that's where there's a lot of power in a team culture and a team identity that's built on being yourself, being real, and then holding each other accountable to a standard that you guys set together.
So let me ask you, you've gone through the experience of being an adopted child, and I heard you say you're going to get married. This is pure ignorance. I don't know. Are you going to adopt, or have you adopted? Do you plan on doing that, or do you plan on going through that experience yourself since you lived it?
Yeah, I mean, I lived it and I saw how impactful it was. And to be, a spokesperson for the foster care system, for, kids that have been adopted, looking to be adopted, parents that are looking to adopt, it is really cool to see that. And I think the number one thing is just having that communication. And so my fiance and I, we're going to have those talks and we're going to figure out, but it's like having a plan and being able to execute it is the biggest thing when you think about adoption. Is like, can we support this? How are we going to support this kid? Is it going to be, are we going to look for kids that have been in the system for a decade? Because there's so many kids that are at risk of aging out. Are we going to take that leap of faith? Do you look at, a million different options? So having open, honest communication, I think that's something that my parents did that was amazing, was that they were able to talk everything out through me. Nothing was a secret, right? And I feel like if you go through that process that way, open and honestly, as a family, man, I think that's what's some of the most exciting parts of of getting married this summer and having those conversations and changing lives together. It's going to be really fun.
What did it mean to you to win the award, the CCAI 2022 National Angel in Adoption Award?
Awards are a funny thing, man. Like we've talked about this a number of times, like already, the external validation, because it is motivating. It lets you know that you're on the right path, that you're supporting people, but it's like not why you do it. Right. So I think it is really cool to have congressional awards like that for organizations to support and acknowledge people doing the right things, and then to go to those events, to meet people, to network with them, right? And to be able to be like, okay, this is what they're doing out in Nebraska. This is what they're doing up in Boston. This is what they're doing down in Florida or Nevada. And it's like, you get to learn and share and break bread and communicate on all these great ideas, so that you can just help your community, your little corner of the world, that much better.
Yeah, listen, all the awards are great, but if you reach one kid, that's the ultimate satisfaction there. I mean, if you're able to do that. But by the way, in Suameco, you probably reached a lot of the elementary kids with all those dance moves of yours.
That was man, I was put on a tough spot there. We're back at the elementary school, 3rd grade teacher. We're doing the Tootsie Roll. That's what I did when I was 8 years old. And she's like, "Oh, do you remember? Oh, we're gonna dance like right now. All these cameras are here, whatever. We're gonna catch that." Great, perfect, love that, love it. I really appreciate that, Miss Michael. So no, it was a fun time.
Did Mike Gesicki reach out and try to steal that move from you for next year?
I don't think anyone's going to reach out about stealing any of that. It was terrible. It was the worst thing ever. My little sister's a dancer, like world-class dancer, and she was embarrassed to be associated with that.
I love it. All right, so let me ask you a couple fullback questions.
Yep.
Walk us through now, as since we don't play the game at your level, man. Some of us might have played at a much lower level, all those things. So walk us through Alec Ingold's responsibilities on a regular running play when he breaks the huddle. Talk to us the checklist that you're going through at that moment.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, you can go all the way to Pop Warner. Like, what's it on and who am I hitting? Right. That's what I was told in Pop Warner at like 5 years old. So, I mean, those are the fundamentals that you carry with for forever. So, yeah, when we're breaking the huddle, it's like a lot of eye discipline, knowing where to put your eyes. And then defensive guys, they're getting smart. So they know, okay, if he's looking at me, he might come and block me. So then sometimes you have to look the wrong way. Sometimes you have to look the right way. However, you have to scan the defense, make sure you're playing the game within the game. And then it's, honestly, it's just knowing your assignment, knowing what these different defensive adjustments, when safeties are rolling, when all of a sudden linemen are moving, when linebackers are making different calls and you're hearing things, it's like, okay, this adjustment might happen, that adjustment might happen. So this is pre-snap, I don't even know if it's recognition more so than like you're getting prepared for all of the different things that could happen post-snap. You're getting prepared for it. And then, man, once it post-snap as a fullback, a million different things can happen in front of you with, different assignments, different guys moving different places. So you have to go no hesitation, go clean somebody up, right? Like you can't. The last thing I'm going to do is stay in Raheem's way because he's way faster than I am. It's not even close. I don't even want to know what a race would look like. So I got to get out of his way, and I got to make sure that I'm getting a hat on my assignment. And however we're going to do that, we're going to do it a million miles an hour. We're going to do it with great technique. We're going to be aggressive and make it a track meet, and just get out of Raheem's way so he can bust a big run. That's my job.
On your Twitter profile, you got this big old thing on the top that says Hitman. So is there anything more satisfying for you than a great block? Because that kind of that's what I get from that. It's like, yeah, I love my job, and when I make contact with somebody and put them on their ass, that's when I'm happiest. So talk to me about the perfect block. Is that the ecstasy in football for you?
Yeah, I think same foot, same shoulder, getting low pad, like low man wins, right? You got your forehead on another guy's chin, and you're running through squared up. It's unbelievable because it can make a loud sound, or it could be like either a huge block or not a huge block, go down to the ground, whatever. But when you hit exactly technique, exactly how it's supposed to be, it feels like you're just hitting paper, like you're just running through it. and it's like one of the best feelings ever. It's like the sweet spot on a Louisville Slugger, and it's a great feeling to have. And it's even better when you know you're at the point of contact, the ball's coming right behind you, and that's going to be the difference between an explosive run or 2nd and 6. I feel like those are the little inches, those little details, those little moments that you got to live for as a fullback.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a lot of people that wanted me to ask you about Matt Milano. I think they want you to make sure you put a good block on Matt Milano the next time around.
Okay, I got that. Yeah, I'll any of those Bills guys. I apologize to the mic'd up crew on the Buffalo Bills game when I was mic'd up, because that is, I don't know what happened. I talked a lot more in that game on those clips than ever before, ever. So I apologize for all that for the Dolphins fans out there. It's not how I normally play ball.
Oh, that is awesome. All right, so tell me a little bit about McDaniel and this offense. What is it about? What are you expecting from this offense this year? Because, here's another thing that I think of. Again, I'm not going into the abyss, my brother. I'm not doing that. Can you imagine if he gets the tight end to where he needs it to be, because he wants an active tight end, that pass catching, blocking, all that stuff? They didn't really have that feature in this offense last year. And then in the running game, there were times you guys were running, and then there were times, it was a little inconsistent. If this offense gets the tight end that he's looking for, okay, and gets the play and the running game, although there were times, I got to tell you were gouging the Bills for 7 yards a carry. You were gouging the Green Bay Packers for 9 yards a carry. God, I wish you would have kept running, because you were knocking them on their asses. But if this running game really gets going and the tight end becomes a bigger factor in the offense, dude, you guys are going to be scary as hell. Scary.
When you talk expectations as an offense, I feel like it's a scary word, because you almost don't want to put a box around it, right? You don't want to define who you're going to be, or what roles are going to be played, or who is able to win games here or there. Like, you want a bunch of closers on your team, whether it's running the ball, throwing the ball, explosive plays, methodical plays. Like, you want to be able to win a million different ways, and to be able to have a cold weather game, a rainy weather game, a beautiful sunny South Florida game, and be able to be competitive, move the ball, and score touchdowns and make plays, right? So as an offense, I feel like a lot of guys in the second year, it's going to be supreme ownership of your role, of carving that thing out, owning every part of it, and being able to be ready for when your number's called, because there's so many guys on the offense that can play ball. Like, be consistent, maintain that level of discipline, and be ready for that shot when you got it, because there's going to be a different game. I'm sorry, my dogs are all excited.
You're good. I got 4 at home, bro. I'm a dog guy. You're good.
He's saying that expectations are scary, and that we should all be ready to make some plays on offense, like all 11 guys. I don't care. Rob Hunt might take the ball and score another touchdown. I don't know.
That actually would be pretty damn cool, actually. That would be a good thing. All right, so 2 quick things before I let you go. Alec Ingold Foundation, how can we help out? Tell the folks out there.
AlecIngold.com is where you're going to find everything. Foundation, book, mindset coaching, speaking, whatever it is. And for the foundation, we're trying to put some stuff together in South Florida, football camp for kids in adoption, foster care. So just stay in tune, stay connected. Go to that website, follow up for that, like a little weekly email newsletter we have going on, so that you can find a way to get involved, whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to donate. It's all there at AlecIngold.com/foundation.
Okay. 2, what kind of music you like?
I'm a big hip hop guy. J. Cole is one of my guys.
Okay. My daughter loves J. Cole.
He's the man.
Loves J. Cole. All right. Do you like any kind of regular music, pop music, any other type of music?
So I got a little vinyl record player here. We got the Eagles. We got
classic.
Yeah,
rock.
we got some throwback stuff here.
Okay.
Temptations.
So you're an inspirational guy. Okay. All right. Have you ever heard of music that's called ska? Ska music?
No, I haven't.
Ska is like a mix of reggae, punk, and rock. Okay. And so there's a band called The Interrupters. All right. I want you to check out The Interrupters. Check out some of their lyrics. Fantastic lyrics. Take Back the Power, Title Holder, A Friend Like Me. I just want you to listen. It's great music, actually.
Yeah.
fantastic. But the lyrics, a lot of their lyrics are very inspirational.
Okay.
So it's actually a pretty cool. I love the band. They're fantastic, but their lyrics kind of reminds me a lot of you. And I think, with the book, The Seven Crucibles, which, by the way, why don't you tell people where they can get the book too, by the way?
You can get it on Amazon or alecandgold.com. So that'll all be right there for you. Amazon's like 2 days. Like if you're listening to this right now, it might show up tomorrow morning. Who knows? So it's pretty impressive. And then I'm going to go hit up these Interrupters.
The Interrupters.
Yes. I'm going to listen to that.
Yes. And I Gave You Everything is my favorite song of theirs. But check it out. You'll like it, man. I appreciate you. And thank you for your time, Alec. Look forward to seeing you in the locker room, or who knows, maybe we'll bother you during training camp.
Love that. Sounds good. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you. There you go. Alec Ingold, man. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good interview with the fullback of your Miami Dolphins. Really enjoyed that interview. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. There we go. What do we got? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do we got? Where are we going? And by the way, hit the like button while we're at it there. I mean, there's not a lot of likes there, man, compared to what you got out there. So, Big O, I have a 5-hour drive, timed it to drive with the Big O show. We're not on for 5 hours. I've done it. We have done a 5-hour show, actually, a couple times. We have done that. But I don't think today will be that day that we do a 5-hour show. I can tell you that. Oh, Lordy. By the way, Sloman's Home Shield. Yes, sir. We love the people at Sloman's. There is Alarmo. He's ready to go. Are you looking for an alarm? We're in 14 different states, folks, and we can give you a free doorbell camera right now. That's right, a free doorbell camera. All you got to do is go 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tell them that you heard it on the Big O radio show, and they will take care of you. They've been taking care of Americans for 100 years. This is a company that's been around a long time, man. So 1-800-ALARM-ME, and that doorbell camera is a savior. You'll know everybody that's coming to your house. And if you're, watching television, somebody rings the doorbell, you can look at your camera and see who's there and say, yeah, I don't feel like answering it. I'm too into my show. Let them knock and they'll go away, that kind of stuff, because maybe they're selling something or some crap like that. You don't want to deal with it. The doorbell camera is amazing. Plus, when you use our professional installation and our low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And for those of you that live in some cold states that we're at, like California, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Virginia, Georgia, how about some heating oil? You know what you pay every month, right? We have fixed rates for you. We can save you on that. 1-866-OIL-DEAL. That's 1-866-OIL-DEAL. Reach out to them at Sloman's. All right. There we go. It looks like everybody likes it. Big O, what's up, everyone? Can't chat much live anymore. New job. Great interview. Oh, thank you, Ian from Brooklyn. Appreciate you. What a personality for a fullback, says Brett Campbell. Brian Landis giving us the thumbs up, and Daryl and Alexis and Devin and Big D. There we go. Thank you. Bradster said, great interview, Big O. I'm a fan of Ingold, the player now, and I'm a fan of Ingold, the man. Hope you have Alec on again. We will. And Rosendo enjoyed it. There we go. Dave enjoyed it. Thank you all out there. Looks like you all enjoyed it. There you go. Thank you. And he was good. Steven says, Alec is such a down-to-earth, inspirational dude. Great interview, Big O. Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says, you need to tell Madden to bump that speed number. And by the way, there was another one, Matthew Hernandez. You sent in a super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, Alec, who seems the hungriest this offseason. Oh, you wanted me to ask him who seems the hungriest. I don't think he would have given you a specific person. He probably would have said, we're all hungry. I'm hungry. But yeah. I think they're all pumped for this season. I know I am, man. I am super jacked for this season. Super jacked. I keep telling you this. I've been telling you this for a while. And I love what they're adding on this team. I really do. Dougie Fresh says, "Oh, what an interview! What a human being! Alec has taken on the responsibility of a role model and what's possible for children who are adopted in foster care or in a transition." Applause, applause. Yes, sir. That's a good man. It's a good man. Big O, do you have the connections to get Tua for an interview? I would like to see you tell him to get rid of the damn ball. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It won't be easy, but I'm working on it. I mean, if he's going to do any kind of interviews, you know, should be on our show over practically any show on the planet. Let's be honest. I mean, not for nothing. It's not that we're the greatest show on earth or anything, but we got his damn back, bro. Unlike all these phonies that talk a lot of shit about him and then they want him on. Oh, he can't play. Oh, hi, Tua. How you doing? Oh, he's got no arm. Oh, hi, Tua. How you doing? Oh, he plays too much golf. Oh, hey, Tua. How you doing? Phonies. Brad says, highlight of my day, that interview. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And we're working on another big name. Hopefully next week, I think we'll get it done. Big name. Top 5 name on the team. Okay, not going to tell you who, but top 5 name on the team. Working on that. We'll get it done. We will get it done. And hopefully we'll get other ones done too, you know, and have some fun. Okay. Oh, yes, you are the greatest show on radio, Al. That's too kind. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Hey, did you see Braxton Berrios and Olivia Cupo split up? You don't know who she is? She's a hottie. She's a hottie. Her sister is with the receiver that Edelman. So the Cupos were, and they were like double dating before because the two sisters, obviously, and then the two guys. And so apparently Cupo was on social media and she was with her sister and they were single sisters or something like that. So Braxton is in Miami and single, ready to mingle. So Braxton will have no shortage of ladies interested in him when he goes out. That's for sure. So, yeah, I saw that. Let's see. What else do we have here? I would like Big O to interview Christian Wilkins. Well, we could get that done. I feel you're going to interview Waddle or Hill. What a thrill. Oh, please post on Reddit that you had Cater and Alec. I can do it for you, and Sean if you want. Yeah, I have to. So many social media things, but I will. I have to post it on there. I will. I'll post them today. Oh, Koopa was Danny Amendola. Oh, my bad. Okay, so it was Amendola. Okay, so the other Koopa was Amendola. Okay, my bad. All right. I got my short white receivers confused. Apologies. All short white receivers look the same. Braxton will have all the ladies from Tootsie's. Oh, sent you a DM on IG trying to clarify the question. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see what you got. So we got IG and Twitter DMs. Let's see what you got. All right. Emilio, you said, I don't, oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's why. Here it is. Okay. I got you now, Emilio. Hold on. Okay, now let's do it. I want to try to clarify the question. I like regarding crypto. Okay, fast forward. We now live in a world where the Fed has created their own centralized digital currency. My employer banks with Chase. Let's say when I get a paycheck, I assume Chase would pay me with Fed's centralized digital currency, but I don't want to receive payment in that currency. I want my money to be in decentralized currency. Do I have to find a new employer, or is the currency capable of being converted? Yes. What you do is you either have your employer pay you in Bitcoin, if they can do that, if they have the capability, or if not, the second you get paid, you convert it right away to Bitcoin. And that's what you would do. And then just keep it on your digitalized wallet. And that's all. So, yes, that's what you would do. If, again, not a financial advisor, but makes a lot of sense. I'd rather have my money in Bitcoin than in cash. That's for sure. I'm going to gain a lot more that way. So, yes, that's what I would do. There are very few businesses that are paying in crypto. Like the city of Miami pays in crypto. They can pay you in Bitcoin, which is actually really, really cool. We're at 28,300, still messing around with 28, which just tells me that it's going to explode any minute now and go over 29 and 30 very shortly. But that's what I would do, Emilio. You know, instead of having it in U.S. currency, I would just convert it right away to Bitcoin. That's it. Okay. Now, you still want to make your bills in money. So convert your discretionary income into Bitcoin and then use your fiat, which is the money, and pay your, FP&L and pay your mortgage and all that other crap. So pay that with money. Don't pay them with Bitcoin. And then what you have left that you're going to save, you save it on Bitcoin. Don't save it in your bank account with crap money. That is not going to grow. So yeah, that's what I would do. Okay, if I'm you. I kind of do that myself because when I pay myself, I put a portion in Bitcoin and the rest to the wife so she can pay the bills. And so I kind of do that myself anyways. I actually do that all the time. Is Fiat B Day today? Yeah, since the feds are printing trillions. Yeah, they are. When sports and business collide, we do something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. Thank you out there for tuning in as always. Here's our KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. You see the QR code, right? QR code, it's called. So if you, tax season is here, man. You got to do your taxes, personal, business. Let's go. Reach out to the people at KSDT, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. Reach out to them. You can do it all by phone, pretty much. So call them, reach out. Hell, you could be anywhere in Florida to do your taxes. So just use the QR code there and reach out and tell them that you saw it on the Big O Radio Show. So Forbes took out the value of each team in Major League Baseball. And Sean, you'll never guess who's number one. Nah, there's only one.
Dodgers?
No.
Mets?
No.
Who's number one?
Yankees.
I'm sorry, I was thinking, when I said Mets, I meant Yankees. There's too many damn New York teams.
Yankees,
Whatever.
7.1 billion. Okay, the Dodgers are second. They're 4.8. Like, they're way behind. They're 2.3 billion behind in value. Boston is 4.5. Cubs are 4.1, and San Francisco 3.7. Those are the top five. Sean, once again, who's the 30th team in value in Major League Baseball? I'll give you one guess.
Is it right down the street from here?
Worth $1 billion, the Miami Marlins.
$1 billion.
The A's are 29th at 1.1.
They ain't got a stadium.
Yeah. Cincinnati is 28 at 1.1 million and 1.19. Kansas City is 27th at 1.2 billion, and Tampa Bay's 5th at 1.25 billion. With all that winning, they're only worth 250 million more than the Marlins. How ridiculous is that? With all that winning that they do. It's a stadium.
Valuations really aren't about the winning, though, right?
No, but if you have talent on your team, you're worth more. Yeah,
Have they really ever had? I mean, I know they get the talent, but once the talent
they leave.
exceeds,
They
they draft well because
Right,
the
that's what I'm
talent grows
saying.
up in there, but then they never keep it. So that's
Right,
why
right.
they can never
But
grow.
they still have more than Miami. At least in that
yes,
sense. Miami has the stadium.
Yeah.
Because that's a public stadium.
Yeah.
So this was also a public stadium, but it's a brand new stadium, so they have the advantage.
Tropical.
Right. So it's probably worth a little more, but yet it's still worth $250 million less than Tampa, and that stadium's like crap that they have in Tampa.
Yeah.
So then here's the other thing that's pretty funny. Okay. Now I want you to figure this out on your own. Okay. Think about this. All right. The rights fees that are paid to teams. You know what the rights fees are for the Yankees? $143 million every year for the rights fees. The local rights fees. Okay? So $882,000 per game they must produce in revenue to just cut even. Now that's the Yankees, and they're on Yes Network. They'll easily surpass that because it's the Yankees. Their name is worldwide, bro. People are watching the Yankees all over the place. The Miami Marlins, okay, they are now getting $49 million a year in rights fees for television. That means they have to sell $302,469 every game just to break even. Is there any chance that they are selling that amount of money per game in revenue? No way, right? There's no way people are buying that money, that revenue. Why? Because there's nobody watching. There's very few people watching. Tons of people watch the Yankees. The Yankees are the number one team in the state of Florida. Don't know if you know that, but they are the number one team in the state of Florida. Baseball. Ahead of Tampa and Miami. Yeah, we have two teams in the state, and they're behind the Yankees. Okay, so they can generate plus they have Yes Network. So they have a whole network and all that stuff. So it's a lot easier for them to generate that revenue. And by the way, to be fair, I don't care about the Yankees, but I do watch the Yes Network every once in a while. And I got to tell you, their programming is excellent. They do a very good job with their programming. Profiles and interviews and games and past games and all kinds of stuff. Yes Network does a really good job, dude. Really good job. Now you have a team that has an incredible history that you can lean off of. So there's a lot of things you can do. But wow, I saw the monster difference between the two. And then I'm looking at it going, there's no way. That would be the greatest sales team in the history of mankind if they're cutting a profit on television. If they're generating more than $49 million in sales in a season, God bless them. They are awesome. You better go hire those salespeople, other companies, because those are pretty good salespeople. Because you got barely anything to sell with the Marlins. That, my friends, is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. See what we got here. If the Marlins actually competed consistently, people would watch. Yeah, no, if they tried, we would watch. There's no doubt about that. I was surprised my A's aren't well, you win more. You probably have better attendance overall. That's the thing. The A's and the Rays win more than the Marlins. They don't win anything big, but they, in general, have more winning seasons. They go to the playoffs a lot more than the Marlins. The Marlins win titles. I'll give them that. But you know.
And they're in playoff contention.
Right,
The Marlins are usually out with 30 games to go, and they're already out of the playoff race. So it's
you
not
mean
even
30 games in.
possibly.
Not to
yes,
go.
yeah.
30 games to go, yeah. Shit, 90 games to go. We're usually out of it by then. All right. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about on the show? Mavs. Oh, by the way, Mavs lost last night to the Warriors. Okay. This is funny as hell. I mean, it's funny, it's sad, it's twisted, all these kind of things. Right. So they lost last. I know there was a terrible call there with the Warriors, and they got an easy basket. And I know Cuban's challenging it, and he probably won't win. Whatever. They lost last night to the Warriors, who, by the way, never win on the road, but they beat the Mavs 127 to 125. Kyrie was out with an injury, you know, because he's so reliable. And not only that, okay, you know that the Mavs are 36 and 37. Do you know that since February 8th, the first day that Kyrie played, whether he's played or not in games, okay, since the trade, since he took the court for the first time on February 8th, since then till now, yesterday they played without him. They are 7-11 since that trade. 7-11 since the trade. I don't know the exact record because I didn't feel like going through how many of those wins and losses are with Kyrie, right? But it just goes to show you, you know what I mean? That some players, it doesn't matter. They might put up stats, you know, like Whiteside, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're winning players. And that's what sometimes people don't understand. And with Kyrie Irving, he's got an incredible skill set, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's playing constantly winning basketball. And just because he hit a big shot with Cleveland, and they won the championship, it's still LeBron, the one that was doing all the heavy lifting in the end. And Kyrie, the flake that he is, he'll compliment you, and you hope he compliments you well that day. But it shows you on a consistent basis that Kyrie Irving has never and never will be a leader, should not ever be any kind of pillar of stability in your organization, should not be your franchise player. It's just a guy that's got a lot of ability, but still lacks all the professionalism in the world. And 7-11 shows it right there. They traded on February 6th, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a 2027 second rounder, a 2029 second rounder, and a 2029 first rounder. They traded depth, they traded draft picks, and they may end up losing this guy at the end of the year because in the end, do you tie? I mean, if you end up missing the playoffs or this is terrible at the end, why would you want to re-sign him? What would motivate you to re-sign this bum? Seriously, what would motivate you to re-sign bum ass Kyrie Irving? I'm so sick and tired of talking about his handle and that he can shoot. The guy's a moron, and the guy is not a winner. Just not. You can have him, you can keep him, all of that. Do you believe Fish would compete if Moss was? Oh my God, yes. Moss built a stadium for fun. For fun. Who does that? Who the hell says, no, we'll get the team. I'll build a stadium in Fort Lauderdale for now until we can build a really good one. And he's building it all. There's no public money involved. Okay? They might be providing the land, but, brother, he's building everything. The Moss brothers are maniacs, dude. They want to win. I keep telling you guys, forget about everybody that starts a new business. More often than not, most of us screw up a whole bunch when we start a new business. This is new to them. Owning a sports team and owning a soccer team. They made a shit ton of mistakes at the beginning. But I saw it in front of my eyes. The dedication is there. They're not cheap, bro. They're not going to cut corners. So if they own the Marlins, they wouldn't have traded away all those players. They would have kept some of those guys, and then they would have built on top of all of that. And you would have way better crowds in that place if the Moss brothers own. Hell yeah, please, dude. Yes. I mean, I don't know how people don't believe in those guys. It's like, you know, people are questioning, oh, well, will they win in soccer? Hell yeah, dude. They're going to win. Jorge Mas is not buying this to lose, man. And look, it's going in the right direction. They'll be fine. And if they get Messi, brother, if he's willing to bring Messi here, then he'll do anything in baseball. He's the guy that would probably steal Ohtani from the Angels. Not this guy, but Jorge Mas might do that. Yeah, no, I have all the faith in the Moss brothers. Okay? I don't care about what happened with onside and all that crap. That didn't work out, whatever. Who cares? I don't give a shit about that. You got to compartmentalize things. One doesn't affect the other, okay? They will win. They will win big in soccer, and if they own the baseball team, there would be a lot more baseball fans in town if the Moss brothers own the baseball team. No doubt in my mind. So, what else? Kyrie has never made the playoffs when he doesn't have KD or LeBron. Yeah, of course, because he's a jag. He's a punk. He's just got a lot of talent, but that doesn't make you a great player. That's the problem. Who's my favorite member of Genesis? No, I'm going with Phil Collins. For sure. Yeah. I like Tony Banks and Rutherford, but no, I'm going Phil Collins. I'm not going Peter Gabriel. I'm not as big on the Genesis Gabriel stuff. It's all right, but I don't go gaga over it. I don't go crazy over it. It's all right. It's psychedelic. It's a little too out there for me sometimes, to be quite honest. I'm not that big on early Genesis. It's all right. It's not terrible, but it's all right. I'd rather listen to Peter Gabriel's solo 100,000 times over than his stuff with Genesis. So I'm going Phil Collins. Yeah. Put it this way. I enjoy early Journey more than I enjoy early Genesis. I enjoy early Fleetwood Mac over early Genesis. There we go. In comparisons. Some of those bands that made monster changes once they added Stephen Perry, once they added Nicks and Buckingham, the Peter Green era, I'd rather listen to early Fleetwood Mac and early Journey way over early Genesis. Okay? Like it's not even close. So that I'm a little biased, I guess, when it comes to early Genesis. I'm not really like this major fan of it. I'm really not that impressed with it. It's Phil Collins Genesis is, my God. In fact, maybe when I go home, I'm going to jam. On my way home, I'll jam a little Three Sides Live. What a great album that is. Oh, my God. So phenomenal. So phenomenal. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 3 of the Big O Radio Show live from the place where they're giving away a Mercedes-Benz on April Fool's Day. And it's not an April Fool's. It's the real deal. We're giving away a Mercedes on April Fool's Day. All right. Hopefully Alan Poupart will join us in hour number 3 right here on the Big O Radio Show.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Great, you have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Rocking hour number 3 of the program from beautiful Hialeah Park. By the way, Bitcoin's still up over 28,000, 28,250, 300. Green Lion saying Gojira and Mastodon soon. I like Mastodon. Not much of a Gojira fan. But speaking of some music, so we got some interesting stuff coming up for music and for comedy. Comedy, stoners, pop culture in general. First of all, let me start off with this, okay? Give you a couple of fun music notes that are that have developed. Devo. Devo is this band that is it was a groundbreaking band back in the 70s and formed in 73. And we're talking about a band that in the punk sound, right? It even had its own distinctive punk sound too, on top of all of that, which is, pretty impressive. And so Devo, they're going to have a documentary of the band Devo, which is pretty cool. I like that because I'm a Devo guy, so I would actually be interested in this. It says BMG announced the production was underway on the first official documentary of Devo. Titled simply Devo, the film is being directed by Chris Smith and will follow the band's story from their foundation in the aftermath of the Kent State Massacre through their years as politically driven outsiders into their surprising turn to the top of the charts with their breakout hit, Whip It. Forming in 73, Devo band together initially as a performance artist, disillusioned and radicalized by the shooting at Kent State, where they were students. Their artistry was a commentary on corruption in the United States and the perceived dumbing down of the entire generation by mass media and the commodification of a poisoned society. With a mixture of archival footage, interviews from other characters in their orbit, and range of storytelling techniques, the film, the narrative will be parallel to the revolutionary creativity the band is known for. Ultimately, Devo explores Devo's evolution from hippie artist to art rockers with a message to the unexpected mainstream success as a hit rock band and pioneers of the MTV age. Devo was a huge influence on me, said the director Smith. Their approach to music, film, art, and video was something I had never seen before and was one of the truly formative artist influences that showed me there were entirely new ways to look at things. I am looking forward to this because it's one of these kind of bands that was so different than everybody else, but their music is actually fantastic. They have terrific music, and the way they made things sound was completely different than everybody else. So a Devo documentary is coming, and I know Dougie Fresh is big on that because he got me a Devo shirt, and we have the Devo Whip It hat in our studio. Actually, Stanley C. Panther wears it in our studio, the Devo hat. It was really Bill Preston's hat because we gave it so Bill could wear it, and he did wear it once on the show, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Rest in peace, my brother. Love you, man. Miss you, man. Miss you big time. So the other one that is also coming out is a Kiss biopic. So if you're a Kiss fan like I am also, I love Kiss. So Kiss is another one. The biopic has been picked up by Netflix. So it's kind of like the same thing that they did with the Dirt from Motley Crue. It says they are finally beginning work on the movie. It's a biopic about the first 4 years of Kiss. We're starting it now. We've already sold it. It's already done. We have a director. Its planned title is Shout It Out Loud after the 1976 Destroyer track. That Destroyer album is just a masterpiece and is reportedly going to be along with the same lines as Motley Crue's massively successful The Dirt and the 2010 The Runaways. In 21, Deadline reported Norwegian filmmaker Joachim Ronin was set to direct the biopic, with Ollie Sanders had written the script. It's not known yet who will star in the film, though Paul Stanley said that year that they were looking for actors in their early 20s. I don't know a whole lot about actors in their early 20s, he said. When people get asked these kind of questions, they'll say, oh, Brad Pitt, this one, that one. Well, those guys are in their 50s and 60s. So you're talking about another generation of actors. And I'm the first to say I'm not up on a lot of them. So Shout It Out Loud presumably will follow Kiss also in the final end of their road tour, which concludes this year at Madison Square Garden. So they'll do the first 4 years, and then they'll do something at the end, kind of like what they did with The Dirt. The same thing that at the end, they kind of had the guys from acting, and it kind of mixed in with the original members. It's probably what they'll do. So if you're a Devo fan, if you're a Kiss fan, you will get a biopic on those. It's pretty cool. And today in music history, in 1985 on this date, we all freaked out. Those of us that were alive at that time, and those of us that were old enough at that time, on top of all of that, to know what the hell is going on. Because if you're 3 years old in 1985 or 10, you don't know what I'm talking about. But in 1985, the world freaked out that Billy Joel picked up Christy Brinkley. Okay, the fact that he was going out with her, we all freaked out. Like, wait a minute, Christy Brinkley is like one of the top smoke shows in the world, and she's going out with Billy Joel. Well, on this date, they actually married. Okay, they divorced 9 years later, but they married on this date in 1985. In 79, on this date, Van Halen released their second album, Van Halen 2. Excellent album, by the way. I mean, they're the Van Halen, David Lee Roth albums are just, they're at another level. Anyway, on this date, back in 1997, U2 and their pop album was number 1 on the album charts. And in 2003, they made their Oscar debut performing at the 75th Annual Academy Awards. They played their Oscar-nominated song, The Hands That Built America, from the film The Gangs of New York. In 85 on this date, Creedence Clearwater Revival singer John Fogerty topped the charts with his solo album, Center Field. Great song. Is that the top baseball song? That might be my favorite baseball song of all time. Well, Klazuski Campanella, we're talking baseball. I mean, I like that one. Don't get me wrong. I like that song. But Center Field. No, there's nothing new that's even close. No. And if you ever go see John Fogerty live, okay, I know you're not a big concert guy, but he always plays center field. Now, when he comes out to play center field, all right, Sean, his guitar is a bat. It's pretty cool. So he plays center field with a guitar that's made out of a bat. It's pretty cool. In 91, on this date, R.E.M. had their first number 1 album in the UK with their 7th album, Out of Time. Wow. It took them till 91 to have a number 1 album in the UK. And that is that's after Green. How did Green not get to number 1 in the UK? Man. Right? It's weird. So that's what happened today in music history. Now, here's another one. This has nothing to do with music. This has to do everything with a little pop culture, a little marijuana. So for those of you that, are a fan of the Toki Tok, Cheech and Chong, a biopic is now in the works with Hidden Pictures. Okay, the origin of the story, Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong, the pioneering comedians who in 78 filmed Up in Smoke, have transcended cult status. They're getting their own big screen treatment. Todd Lieberman, Hidden Pictures, is partnering with Marin and Chong, Underground, and Fifth Entertainment on a featured biopic of the comedy duo. Cheech and Chong came to prominence in the 70s and the 80s, becoming synonymous with stoner culture by rifling and lifting up the counterculture of the time from hippies to cannabis. Their combined output included successful stand-up shows, comedy albums, and low-budget films, including Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong's next movie, and Nice Dreams. Christian Macardo, who recently made her feature debut in 23's South by Southwest entry, If You Were Last, will direct the screenplay. Danya Jimenez and Hannah Meekum also will help out. The Oscar-winning Lieberman will produce via Alex Young and Hidden Pictures, which snagged up an Emmy for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and recently released Shotgun Wedding on Amazon. Underground, Trevor Engelson. Marin, who worked with Hidden Pictures for Shotgun Wedding, and Chong will executive produce along with David Glickman. We're excited to show the world how two dudes from completely different backgrounds got together and changed comedy and made cannabis mainstream, said Marin and Chong. Working with Cheech and Chong is a childhood dream, said Engelson. I used to listen to them with my father's copy of their albums growing up. So to help bring their incredible true story to a new generation of fans is a real honor. You know, they had an album that had, I believe it was Bamboo. Am I correct? The rapper, right? No, Bamboo, not a rapper. Like it's rapping. Like, oh yeah, we got. Oh, that's because it got hit up. The light on it. Yeah, and that's why I always close them. I always close them every time, and so I don't know if somebody opened them, but yeah, that I have seen the light. I am seeing the light.
That's it. They're closed.
Okay. All right. Was it gone? No, I mean here. It's not gone? Yeah.
I gotta put that like that's my hand now.
Right. Okay, well, you can keep your hand there for the next 40 minutes. Can you do that? Can you do it for 40 minutes? Okay. So for 40 minutes, Sean will keep it. What the hell is that, dude?
Are we all the way up on the side?
Yeah, no, it's all the way up. That never happens. How about if you lower the camera a little bit, right? And that way it takes it out of there. There you go. You see? You see? Sometimes I have a brain. No, but now you adjust the other one. Now you adjust the other one to lift up. Oh, you did it, bro. See? There you go. Okay. All right. Anyway. So, yeah, if you're a Cheech and Chong fan, you will get a biopic there of Cheech. I'm going to watch that. That's going to be hilarious. So I was telling you, they released a record, if I remember correctly, because a buddy of mine
We literally went up in smoke for a moment.
Yeah, we did go. Yeah, we were up in smoke, actually. That's exactly it. It was apropos. So they released an album, and I want to say it was Bamboo's Rolling Paper. Okay, I don't know if they still make them, but I know that I believe it was Bamboo, and it was a big album. And so you would buy their Cheech and Chong album, right? And the album was a bamboo, but instead of a little bamboo that you would buy to, get your rolling paper out and roll your weed, it was this album size of an album. But inside was a big piece of rolling paper. That was an album size rolling paper, if I'm correct. Because if I remember, again, I didn't own the album, but a friend of mine owned the album. I remember this correct. I never had any of their albums, but my buddy had all their albums. And if I remember correctly, one of them came in a bamboo, and he showed me a big ass rolling paper out of it. Am I right? Is it bamboo? Somebody's got to be able to confirm that for me, but I'm pretty sure I wonder if they'll do that again this time around when they release it and then they make it on DVD or something. Do they release it with a big ass rolling paper like they did? I saw Genesis at Joe Robbie. Oh, I saw that concert too. Yes, sir. Don't forget Bill's Devo mask to keep him from coughing into the mic and your shirt. Oh, I said that. I talked about it, that you gave us the shirt and the mask. And that's right. The mask was, that's right. Because Bill had this, he when he would talk, he had this he constantly had phlegm in his throat, constantly. Like he would talk and there would be like this roll of phlegm, right? You know how Crowder, that they make fun of Crowder on, for some of you that watch or listen to Hawk and Crowder show, Crowder, they make fun of him too because he does a lot of that phlegm stuff also. And so, yeah, that was what the mask was for. I remember that. That was funny. Let's see. On this day, 1980, U2 signed a worldwide deal with Island Records. They got about 100,000 for the first album. Christy Brinkley she does still look good, and she's in her 70s. Yes. You look like you're hot boxing at Hialeah Park. No, I was no, let's get it straight. Okay. I looked like I was at the Hollywood Sportatorium. That's what I look like, because for those of you that don't know anything about the Hollywood Sportatorium, you can talk to your father, uncle, grandfather, great-grandfather, whoever went to the Sporto for concerts. Show them that last picture there, that scene of me, and say, hey, Dad, grandfather, was this you at Hollywood Sportatorium? And he'll say, yeah, that's exactly the way it was. You can cut a knife. You can get a knife and cut right through the smoke. That's how it was. Yeah, you got a contact high when you went to Hialeah Park. I mean, Sportatorium. But you can get it here too if you want. We got the smoking hot slots. You can enjoy yourself there. For a moment, I thought the Holy Spirit came to take you, Big O. Not yet. Not yet. I have staved it off for one more day at least. Hopefully, I'm here tomorrow. Big O, what's your favorite Aerosmith song? Mine is Crazy and Angel. I am going to give you a song that nobody will tell you this is my favorite Aerosmith song. Nobody. You will never meet another person ever again that tells you, because they're all going to tell you what you just said, Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, they're Toys in the Attic. That's what they're going to do, Kings and Queens. That they're going to pick the songs that everybody knows. When the Lightning Strikes. That's my favorite song of Aerosmith. It's one of the worst albums they've ever produced in their life. Rocks. I believe it's Rocks. And it was at the lowest point in their career. And Lightning Strikes is my favorite song of theirs. So again, it's coming back. Oh, oh, oh. It's coming back. We're back in the light. I have seen the light. I'm telling you, this is a sign of all signs. Oh, maybe. Go shut those.
Oh, you know why?
Why? Oh, the time change? Yeah, but we've been doing shows here for years. Plenty. The changes come every year. We do it every year. Well, by the way, you can move the camera closer. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, the sun is going down now too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I only travel for work or concerts. Those are priorities right there. Excuse me. Green Line has my priorities in life. Okay. So there you go. Nobody will ever tell you Lightning Strikes is their favorite Aerosmith song. Big bad boys are ready to rumble. Oh, love it. When the lightning strikes. Ooh, I love that song, man. It's a good song. Gets me going. My dad used to talk about it all the time. Wish I would have had a chance to go with him. So right. Are you talking about Cheech and Chong, or are you talking about Hollywood Sportatorium? Okay. Jules says Chong live is like nothing else in comedy. Saw them in the late 80s at a festival in LA. They came out between each act, stuffs that not on the album. With stuff that's not on the album. I got you. Okay. That makes sense. Dougie Fresh says, yes, it was a big bamboo with a rolling paper the size of a piece of school paper. Exactly. I remember my buddy showed it to me. He had the album. I remember. I don't think he ever used it. I think he just left it in there. He would use it as a prop to show people. So, oh, that smoke is the spirit of darkness retreats. Whoa, Aaron Rodgers is after me. Did you know that Sedano's supermarket now occupies the precise site where the Sportatorium Arena once stood? Really? I know exactly where that Sedano's is on Pines Boulevard. Are you sure that? So that's the Sportatorium? Wow. Where at Sportatorium? WrestleMania 1? Like the first one was there? No shit.
Well, they did closed circuit TV, so you would go to the. I mean, it wasn't live there, but you went there and they put up a big screen.
Oh,
and they filled the Sportatorium with the seats you could go and watch on clear. Because at the time it was closed circuit. It was right before pay-per-view.
Like boxing.
Yeah, you had to go and actually
like
a movie theater or something.
I saw Hearns and Leonard at the Hialeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I saw WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, we used to have to do it with boxing. We'd have to go to places for pay-per-view or closed circuit. It was called then, not pay-per-view. Closed circuit, exactly. Damn, I forgot about closed circuit. You know you're old when you can say closed circuit. What's the best music venue you have been to? The LA Forum is the best arena that I've been to. Sound-wise, okay? Sound-wise, LA Forum. If you can go to a concert there, I just encourage it. They after it cleared out from basketball, the way they reshaped that inside and everything that they've got to make the acoustics sound so tight, it is just awesome, dude. I would fly out to the LA Forum, which I've seen U2, Iron Maiden, the Eagles, was it? Anyway, so I've been to the Forum a couple times. And what's it called? If I could go there for a great band, I'll fly over there for that. And then Red Rocks as an amphitheater, the greatest amphitheater I have been to. It's built out of a mountain, okay? So it's gutted out of a mountain. So all the rocks and everything are your walls and everything. You've got to walk up a couple of hundred steps because it's in a mountain. Okay. So be prepared that you're gonna have to do a little exercise to get up on there. But the acoustics are amazing, and I would encourage anybody to go to Red Rocks and go see a band or a singer, but make sure they have a voice. Okay. Don't go see some death metal band screaming. I mean, you could do that if you want and enjoy yourself. If you love the music, you're going to love it there anyway. But my point is, because of the acoustics, when you can hear a great voice, oh my God, does it carry? It's awesome. So if you have a chance to go to Red Rocks, and I would fly to go see a band at Red Rocks. Okay. So those are the two venues that are my favorite venues to go to. Small venues. There's one in Indianapolis that I absolutely love, that it's a really good little theater. It was a former cinema a theater, and they made it a club. Forgot the name of it. It was all wood and everything. It's really, really nice. I saw LA Guns there, and it was really, really cool. I enjoy that. Another small club that I enjoy that we have right here in our backyard is the Culture Room. I think the Culture Room is fantastic. It really is, as the experience of being up close and all that stuff, and it sounds great. The Culture Room, if you want, go on YouTube, and there used to be a show in England, one of the biggest music shows in the history of the world. It was called Top of the Pops. You can just put Top of the Pops, and any band that was somebody performed at Top of the Pops. And if you go look at the stage of setup, they have multiple setups, but there's a couple of years where their setup kind of reminds me a little bit of the Culture Room, with the inverted roof and all that, with the cones and everything. It kind of reminds me of the Culture Room a little bit. So when I watch Top of the Pops, it reminds me a little bit of how the Culture Room is a little bit. So, but I mean, I've been to a lot of. Hey, let me tell you something. if you get to go to the Adrian Arce Center, oh my God. I saw Shaka Khan there, and the acoustics in the Adrian Arce Center are sick. Sunrise Musical Theater used to be Sunrise Musical Theater was my favorite venue for a concert. Yes. It was just the acoustics there were perfect in the Sunrise Musical Theater. I went to a couple hundred concerts there. And then the other one in Miami, it's called the Olympia. It's in downtown Miami. I saw Kraftwerk there a few years back. I saw Joe Jackson there. It's a historic building. Okay, it's maintained and all that. They built the rest of downtown around it. Okay, you notice and you see how this is one of those historic buildings that is maintained by the city and all that stuff. So like you can't touch it, and you go in there and it's dressed up as colonial, like I'm trying to Spanish colonial or something like that. Renaissance, that kind of furniture and all that. And it is just throwback, right? And then inside it is beautiful, all wood, and the acoustics are perfect in the Olympia. So if you ever get a chance to go to the Olympia in Miami, I would suggest that. Or if you get to go to the Adrian Arce Center, that's another one. The Kravis, let me tell you, the Kravis Center in Palm Beach, in Boca, that's an excellent venue also. It's got great acoustics too. There you go. So that's some of the stuff off the top of my head. I'm sure I can remember other things and other places to go to. What else do we have here? You need like a pound to roll that paper. Yeah, probably. Red Rocks on my bucket list. So you got to go. I'm telling you, Red Rocks is an experience that is second to none. Yes, I would give Madison Square Garden is awesome. I've been to several shows at Madison Square Garden, so I'm not going to tell you that it's not great. I would still give the Forum a slight edge. My favorite thing about Madison Square Garden, I will tell you this. It is the closest second floor to the stage that I've ever seen in my life in any arena. Any arena. I've never seen an arena that has a closer second level to the floor, to the stage, than Madison Square Garden. If there's another one, I haven't been to it yet. Maybe somebody out there that's been to Madison Square Garden and been to another. I haven't been to every arena in the world or the country, so I can't tell you. But I've been to a lot of them. None of them are like Madison Square Garden. Never seen that before in my life. Madison Square Garden's LA Dodger Stadium and Madison Square Garden are a lot alike. They're old and they're perfect. Normally when it's old, it looks old, it's worn down, it's run down, it needs to be changed. Madison Square Garden is old when you walk in, but it's perfectly manicured, perfectly maintained. It looks exceptional everywhere. You walk into Dodger Stadium, it's old, but it's perfect. It's freaking beautiful, dude. It's like you died and went to baseball heaven. If they ever created baseball heaven, it's Dodger Stadium. Okay? That's baseball heaven. No, there's no stadium like that. Nothing. I've never seen anything like that. Dodger Stadium is amazing. And then you go to the top of Dodger Stadium. And because you're in a valley, right? You go to the top of the Dodger Stadium and the views from the top of Dodger Stadium, oh my God, they are breathtaking. It really is. It's a Dodger Stadium. Those of you that live out there, you know what I'm talking about because you've been there. If you've never visited, then, I can't help you. But if you ever get a chance to go to Dodger Stadium, oh my God. That is, I can see why you can be a Dodger fan forever by going to that stadium alone. Seriously. It's just, I go there and I'm not a Dodger fan, but every time I go to LA, if it's baseball season, I always want to go to Dodger Stadium and catch a game because it's just, I don't have it in Miami. I don't have this. I sit there and I'm like, wow, dude, I'm having by the way, I get to have a Dodger dog there and not throw up 87 times. You have your Dodger dog, you have a beer, whatever, and it's just you kick back and relax, dude, and it's just an awesome, awesome atmosphere. Really is. Total blessing for those of you out there in Los Angeles to enjoy Dodger Stadium. It's really, really just heaven. Heaven. The Roxy. I've been to the Roxy. I've been to the Viper Room. I've been to the Rainbow. I've been to the Roxy, Rainbow. Shit, man. What am I forgetting? I've been to all of them, man. Oh, Troubadour and Whiskey A Go-Go. So those are all the 5. Usually when I go to LA, I always end up at the end of the night normally at one of those bars. Okay? And somebody called me Ron Jeremy the other day. I met Ron Jeremy at the Rainbow several years ago. He was there. We walked in and we're like, bro, that's Ron Jeremy. Like, hey, man, that's Ron Jeremy. Hey, what's up, Ron? So apparently he lived there. He was like there all the time, like Lemmy Kilmister was. And so I always go to those clubs, and they are very good. Don't get me wrong. Very good. But great experience, history, all that stuff. But when we talk about acoustics and all that, yeah, I can find a couple better. But it's heaven to go to those places because you go to the Troubadour and you know how many acts have been there, and the Whiskey A Go-Go, It's just sick. The Viper Room, by the way, if you ever watch the movie Valley Girl, the club that he goes to when he takes the girl there, and then when he goes, and then they're broken up and he's drunk and he goes back there and gets laid with the girl in the bathroom, that's the Viper Room, actually. They shot that and that was before Johnny Depp bought it and named it the Viper Room. And Johnny sold it several years ago too. He doesn't own the Viper Room anymore. But the Viper Room kind of became one of those clubs in LA also, following the Rainbow, the Whiskey A Go-Go, all the traditional ones. Those 4 were the standard. And then the Viper Room kind of became that 5th club. And that was Johnny Depp's club. And if you go to it, when they filmed the Valley Girl back then, I don't know what it was called. It wasn't the Viper Room then. It became the Viper Room after, several years after that Johnny Depp bought it. I think that's how the story goes, if I'm correct. If there's somebody in LA that might know a little bit more, maybe they can fill me in on that and correct me on that. Yes.
I have a Marlins.
You have Marlins what?
Oh, and
fish?
World Baseball Classic. No.
A fillet?
Do you know what their attendance was for 2022? The Marlins total attendance, 81 games.
81 games?
81 home games.
81 home games. I am going to go with 704,000.
They have 910,000.
They put 910?
That's what it says in the stats.
Wasn't off by too much. Okay.
Do you know that's 81 games, right?
Right.
Do you know how much Lone Depot Park got in 15 games of the World Baseball Classic?
15 games. So I'm going to go close to 700,000.
475.
Oh no, that's right. It's not 50.
Yeah. It was a little over 37,000.
Yeah, because 30 something. I'm thinking 50 per.
Yeah,
It's 30 something.
475,269 in 15 games. Okay, just throwing it out there.
Wow. 1 year.
More than half of last year's total attendance in 15 games.
Yeah,
just
a couple years back. Okay. The Atlanta Hawks were really bad, okay? And their entire attendance that year was eclipsed by 16 games by Atlanta United, the soccer team, because they play in a football stadium and they load 60, 70, right? Literally 60, 70. Okay, you go to Atlanta nowadays, and you will see people walking around with Atlanta United jerseys like everywhere. It's crazy what's happened over there with soccer. But anyway, because they play 32, the 16 games, they surpassed what the Hawks had drawn that year. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. The Olympia was a movie theater when I was a kid. Great place. Yes, exactly. And it is magnifique. Magnifici, or whatever. How's it saying in Italian? Magnifico? Whatever. It's magnificent. Okay. It's perfect. It's, just immaculate is what it is. Magnifico. There we go, right? That's what it is. So, yes. Beautiful. The Olympia is worth going just to see it. Put it that way. That's how much you'll appreciate it, that the second you walk in there, you'll go, wow, this place is like impressive as hell. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall in Studio 54. Well, you would have died because cocaine would have fallen on you. I don't think any fly survives cocaine in Studio 54. Big O, can I get your favorite Smith song? There's a light that never goes out. That's probably it. I love Still Ill. I love Big Mouth Strikes Again. But There's a Light That Never Goes Out is just an absolute masterpiece, man. Huh? Yes, you are.
So we got Lamar Jackson news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have?
NFL teams were notified by the league via memo today. A person named Ken Francis may be contacting clubs to enter into negotiations with or concerning Lamar Jackson. Teams are prohibited from negotiating with Francis, who is not an NFLPA certified agent.
Right. How ridiculous is that? God, Lamar. And he's such a great kid. He really is. He's a fantastic human being. He really is. He's a good dude, hard worker, all that stuff. Catastrophically stupid. Okay, there's nothing more dumber than what Lamar Jackson has done handling his career, or mishandling his career. Let me just put it that way. We all have jobs. We all have professions. Don't try to be something you're not. You're not really helping yourself at all. And you're going to have some clown contacting people that they can't negotiate with. So what are they doing then? Yeah, we're interested, but we can't talk to you, schmuck. Go get somebody we can. Talk to you later. Clank. What's the use in talking to somebody that can't negotiate? That's like me going to, I don't know, I'm going to some business, right? And I go talk to the janitor to talk to them about, hey, would you like to advertise on our platform? Oh, yeah, we love it, man. I'm fantastic. Yeah, while I'm cleaning the bathrooms. Yeah, I'll mention it to the owner later. Like, why would I talk to the janitor? No, I'm going to talk to the owner of the business because they're the people that make decisions. It's Lamar Jackson. It's just, God, dude, how can you be this freaking stupid? Seriously. That's the only way to phrase it, bro. How can you be this stupid? Really is. So, Steve, how you doing?
Listen, I was at a restaurant this morning. I wanted to have something to eat.
You go to those things?
Yeah, and I walked in. I talked to the janitor. I mentioned that you are really, your podcast is on fire, and he wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to you to get you to be at that restaurant.
I'm there.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to let you know that.
I'm there.
Look, Lamar, but to carry forward to what you're saying about Lamar. I mean, I feel bad for him because I think he's getting advice, and I think he's getting advice from either friends or family, and I think that's what's making it a little tough for him because I don't really think this is his like waking. He's ultimately making a decision, but look, his mom's involved. His mom's involved.
Have you met these generational Zs and these millennials?
I don't know. I think it's a family or friend influence that's really driving him crazy. So I'm giving him I'm like being the public defender of Lamar for stupidity, right? I'm not saying it's not stupid. Clearly stupid.
It's incredibly stupid.
But I think he's
incredibly stupid. So, and it's so weak in the media all over the place. They play it with like little Lamar will figure this out. No, bro, let him have it, bro. Let him have it. Let him know. Yo, Lamar, wake up, dude. You're dumb. You would have had a contract already.
Oh, look,
he's already been making big money already, dude. Like, it's ridiculous.
He's already lost millions. I mean, what he played for last year could have easily been more.
Yeah.
What he's going to play for potentially this year could be more. What the future we don't know, but last year he could have played for more.
Well, it's not so much that. Whatever he plays for this year, he's not getting the full guarantees if he just signs the 1-year deal because if he blows his knee out and then he'll never get the guarantees that he wants because he wants $200 million guaranteed. And I just don't think that anybody's going to give a running quarterback $200 million. And that's the other part that he doesn't seem to understand. Since he's not a pocket passer and he can't learn to live and win from the pocket, he can occasionally throw from the pocket, but he can't win consistently from the pocket. And so that helps in guaranteed money. But if I got to give it to a guy that has to run the ball all the time to be effective,
and get his knees blown out,
and take hits on, and by the way, he's missed 10 games the last 2 years. Yeah, dude, I'm not giving you all those guarantees. And that's the part again, there's a lot of ignorance going on.
Oh yeah,
and we're afraid to. Well, not me, but others are afraid to rip him because he's such a nice kid, and maybe they're afraid of I don't know. They want to get information from him or something. I don't really care. All I'm saying is, wake the hell up, kid. You're doing some stupid shit. like Le'Veon Bell. He did the same thing.
Blew it.
And he ruined his whole career. He was never the same player again. He never got his money. And he's a joke from here on out. And he's boxing now. You know, he's trying to make any other kind of money that he can. I mean, it's just, this is the same guy that, brought two chicks over that he didn't even know. And then said, oh, girls, I'm going to go for a workout. You guys wait here for me. And then they just, ripped him off completely and took everything from his place. Like he would leave 2 women that he doesn't know in his home. And then he realizes, oh, my Rolex is gone. Really, dumbass. Well, I wonder why. Anyway.
Oh, Lamar. But, let's just talk about the positive side of it.
We got a Mercedes here on April 1st.
No, it gives a lot to talk about. Because Lamar is doing this ridiculously stupid stuff. But at any rate, so, hopefully he figures it out. I think it's family or friends that are twisting him upside down. I also think they can't figure out, either Lamar or his mother or his friends or his other family members haven't connected the dots that the Deshaun Watson thing was an anomaly.
Right.
That was a stupid anomaly by, a guy that was, the owner that
another dumbass.
You know what I would tell Deshaun?
Desperate team.
You know what I would tell Deshaun? You could have probably got more. Because that guy was desperate and crazy. So people haven't figured that out. Do I think he's worth more? Absolutely not. I think Deshaun is going to be like somewhat of a bust and all that stuff. But in that team. But anyhow, that being said,
so what's going on here at the home of the loosest slots in the state?
We have a Mercedes, April 1st. We're getting closer and closer.
Amen.
Closer and closer. Sean, have you driven it yet?
I'm not driven it yet. I drive it off April 1st.
April 1st, yeah. April 1st at 1 o'clock.
You got to be here between
1 o'clock.
We got to be here at 1 a.m.
Saturday night. We got
not Friday night going into Saturday. You need to be Saturday. Going into Sunday. Saturday night at midnight. Come here and around 1 o'clock they'll give it away.
It's the casino clock.
Yeah. By the way, when they do this, because the first couple of times there's nobody here on the right. Nobody.
Right, so you have to be present.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
here's how we do it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you folks.
So we pick 5 people. See. and we'll pick, and we'll get 5 people that actually are present, and then we give them envelopes, and then they all stand up there, and then we give it a 1, 2, 3, and all 5 people at the same time open their envelope, and one of the envelopes has the Mercedes in it.
Okay.
Not the keys, a piece of paper. They're all pieces of paper. Some people aren't like feeling touching the envelope or something like that.
Right.
So it adds a little more excitement to it.
Right.
But there are people that get called that, they'll come.
No, but you'll call a name and they're not here.
Right.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
happens.
So
That happens. So you have to be here.
So you got to be here, and there's a good chance that you'll have more chances to win, actually, because there's a chance that a lot of the people that are in the drawing don't end up showing up.
Absolutely.
That's my point. And so, hey man, what the hell? What are you doing on Saturday night? Come on out, try to win a Mercedes. You win it, you great. You don't win it, hey man, you have some dinner and move on. You had a great night.
Can I have some fun with the car giveaway? Not
Yeah,
the Mercedes, but
hell
future
yeah.
car giveaways.
Oh,
If you can, I'm just going to ask some of your subscribers. I don't care if it's 2 people, 10 people, 100 people, doesn't matter, 1,000 people. Just kind of feedback in now or in the next couple hours or any time in the next day or two. What's the nicest car you'd like to see us give away that's in the range of, remember, it's these are $50,000 range car. Not, obviously anybody can say the
Maserati.
Maserati or the
Lamborghini.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right now.
that's a little crazy.
But reasonable car. What car would you like to see Hialeah Park give away?
Yeah, I'd like to know what some of your listeners would say.
Okay.
But I have another. Can I change directions on you?
Of course.
Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
I just want to state it. Did you ever hear of
We just had Alec Ingold on.
Oh,
He was terrific.
great, great, great fullback. But so what do you think is the definition? You've heard this of insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome.
Yes.
Now, I know you're going to defend this. This is why I like to get Big O all riled up. He's going to get all mad at me now. But we have the same 4 running backs, and we're expecting the running back production to be better. I understand the O-line, but
That's what it was.
I don't see the O-line having any major improvements.
Not yet.
So what we have is the definition of insanity.
No.
As our running game is concerned, I think our defense will be better.
No, because Austin Jackson was injury riddled last year, and so was Liam Eichenberg. And so those guys hopefully are healthy now, and then they will find out if they can play or not. And they still may make another move on the offensive line to improve. So remember, we're only a week and a half into free agency. So we've got to kind of take a step back and slow down a little bit, and let's see how things develop. How's that?
New line coach.
Right, and a new line coach also, yeah.
All I'm saying is at this point in time, I agree with you. We let's see what improvements are made to the O-line in terms of free agency. But if there isn't anything substantial, I think we made a mistake by not picking up something. Picking up. No. There's a couple of guys. No, there's a couple.
Oh
no!
He's talking about offensive line.
No. I'm talking running back. I'm talking running back.
So who?
I don't know if it was Derrick Henry. It doesn't have to be as good as Derrick Henry.
No, but Derrick Henry, you got to give up picks and a big salary.
I wasn't saying Derrick Henry, but somebody that look those 4 guys. I think there's you could rank those guys 1, 2, 3, 4. Get rid of 4 and replace it with a new number. There were people available.
Who?
I think so. San Diego. The guys at Eckler's available. He's not that much. He's not that expensive.
But you're going to have to trade, and he wants a big salary.
What about what's his name?
They don't pay big salaries for running backs here.
I know. Maybe
that hasn't been his MO.
He's only been here 1 year.
No, Greer has been here several years.
Greer. I thought you meant the coach.
McDaniel. McDaniel wants those guys. Those were his guys.
I guess
Wilson and Mostert are his guys,
and they were his guys in San Francisco.
Right.
It's almost like that. That's what I'm a little bit suspect in that.
I don't think they were the problem last year.
I'm not saying
it's the offensive line that has to improve, and the coach has to stick with the running game when it's working. He didn't do that last year several times, and that's been a problem for him also. So he's got to improve his play calling on game day. The offensive line play has to improve, and I think the running backs are just fine. I have no problem with the running backs.
I think two of them are average or below. That's what I think. They're average or below.
In this system, they're above average. I think
let's
they're
see.
not excellent. They're not stars or anything. But Wilson and Mostert know the system very. I mean, they average 4.5 and 4.6 yards per carry.
I like Mostert. I like Mostert a lot.
But if they average 4.5 yards a carry, that tells me you didn't give them the ball enough. You didn't use them enough.
And Wilson was a little less than 4.5.
So if look, one of the things I've talked about in the last couple of weeks here, and I've tried to shine some light on this, is did they have their playmaking tight end? No, right?
No.
Okay, so they've got to get that, and I think they're going to get it in the draft.
They're running tight end.
No,
they're run blocking tight end.
But they didn't have a playmaking tight end because they need the guy that can block and catch, right? So they didn't have that guy that part of the offense. So I would imagine they're going to try to get that in the draft and add that element. If you add the element of running and the tight end to go with the passing game, then all of a sudden everything's going to be much better. So for me, what needs to improve are the 5 guys up front. The blocking must improve. If the blocking improves, and if Mike McDaniel has a better feel for the game, that when he is punching somebody in the mouth, bro, keep punching them in the mouth. You know what I mean? And he didn't do that last year a couple times.
Go check the logic on this. I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but Mostert, I think your first point is spot on. He didn't run Mostert and Wilson enough. They were getting 4.5 yards.
Right.
You know, if you're getting 4.5 yards, so maybe the O-line was adequate, but
it's got to get better.
The play calling was below adequate.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting 4 and 4.5 yards every run, and
as I've said 1,000 times, you average 7 yards a carry against the Bills and 9 yards a carry against Green Bay, and all of a sudden you stop running.
It's
and
bizarro,
that was like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
So I'm just a little crazy. I'm not crazy about that, but you kind of shed some light. Maybe it's more McDaniel play calling
and the line.
Yeah, and you'll say the line, but
the line has to improve. The line has to improve. It still has to get better.
But they did get 4.5, and they just
they did fine, and even Salvon Ahmed. Dude, every time he came in, he popped a run every time. He was always, because he knows the system. And that was the other thing. You went and got Chase Edmonds last year. He didn't know the system, and then he couldn't adjust to the system. And he was part of a zone scheme, but it goes from inside to outside. So it's 2 different types of schemes, and he didn't adjust. And so that's the danger you also run into, that if you bring somebody in and they don't adjust to it right away, then that becomes a real problem for you. And now you spent money on Chase, which was like $6 million.
Way too much.
And then you had to trade him to Denver.
You had to get rid of him.
And luckily you had to get rid of him. And you were able to get Jeff Wilson, who came in for,
They got lucky because they got McCaffrey, right?
Right, they had too many backs over there.
I got to give it to Greer. He acted quickly. Once McCaffrey was there, he kind of knew it. But the other, can I also ask you about the journeyman tight end? Nice guy.
Smythe?
No, the other from Denver.
Saubert. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He's a backup.
Yeah,
I think the guy they're going for is in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think this is a heavy tight end draft.
Very heavy. So they might be able to get lucky with a good tight end.
I think in the 2nd or 3rd round is where they're getting that tight end.
Which then leads me to, can I just cry on your shoulder for a moment? Because I know it's not his system, and maybe for his career it will be better, but I don't know. I think they could have altered the system slightly and got the whole getting rid of Gesicki thing.
Oh, you got to let it go, bro.
No, man, I think it was a mistake.
You gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. It's not McDaniel's hard-headed. He doesn't want him, and that's it. And that's the bottom line.
But then why did they franchise him last year? Or did they learn that through the year?
They didn't have a guy. So he said, hey, bro, this guy can make plays. So we have the cap space. It doesn't matter. Let's bring him back for 1 more year. Try him, coach, and see if you can make it work. But
you called it. You did call what he was going to get paid.
I know.
About $4 million, $4.5 million.
I said he would have to sign a 1-year prove-it deal.
Unbelievable. Think about that.
Because you have nothing on your resume the last 2 years that says you're a $15 million player. And so now he has to go back and reprove himself. If he wanted to sign a multi-year deal, he was going to sign an under-market deal,
7 or 8 million.
and then he's going to be
7.
locked for 3 years making plays, and he'll never get that big contract. So he has to go 1 year, and he has to hope Mac Jones throws him the ball. Now, Mac Jones is a conservative player. Mac Jones doesn't take a ton of chances on the outside.
Yeah.
So he's going to work a lot to running backs and tight ends. So Gesicki will have, and that system throws a lot to the tight end.
But you're right, and Belichick loves the tight end, but
always.
But there's 2 of them, right? There's in that system.
Yeah, but they use them.
Yeah, they use them, but
it doesn't matter.
You got to share the.
Hernandez and Gronkowski got a bunch of balls.
They both were. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because they're more tight end running heavy than they are receiver heavy. Notice over the years they don't really go for front line receivers.
Right.
It's like Randy Moss, and that's it, dude.
Yeah, and a slot guy. They got one slot guy.
Yeah, whatever, Welker or whatever, but Troy Brown or whatever. They never have real special receivers.
They don't have 2.
It's like an Edelman. It's like serviceable guys, decent guys, but they don't go out and get Tyreek Hill, and they don't go out and go get Terrell Owens or something. They did it once with Randy Moss, and they didn't win the title that year.
No.
So he's more into spending his money on running backs and tight ends, or picks on running backs and tight ends.
Yeah.
And plus, they've been terrible at drafting receivers. Oh, my God, have they sucked at drafting receivers. I mean, Edelman was a quarterback.
Yeah. So
Troy Brown was a special teams guy. And those are 2 of his best receivers since he's been there for 20 years. Of his own pick. Yeah, any moron can pick Randy Moss in free agency. And he got him because he was at low value at that moment because of coming off the Raiders and all that mess.
So I'll leave you with this. Can we just spend a little time on just dissing the whole Aaron Rodgers thing? And why is it taking so long? Tell me why. I think
it's the negotiations now. Green Bay's got them by the balls. So the Jets now have no options. They have no quarterbacks out there that they can get. There's no one that's going to make them possibly a playoff contender except for Aaron Rodgers. So now Aaron Rodgers says, yeah, I'll play for you. But now Green Bay wants compensation.
Yeah.
And they don't have to pay Aaron until September 1st. So, and the Jets aren't going to say, oh, yeah, no, well, yeah, no, go ahead. Hold out. Yeah. The Jets need him in camp as soon as possible. Even though he may not like to go to mini camps, he may have to go to these mini camps because it's a brand new system. Well, actually, it's the same coach that's running from the one from Green Bay, but it's brand new players. So he's got to get the timing with all those guys. So he's not going to wait all the way to training camp. But either way, you got to sign him as soon as possible or sign him before training camp. So you've got to have Aaron Rodgers in training camp in the preseason. And Green Bay doesn't have to pay him until September 1st.
So what happens if the Jets say, forget it?
That'll be really interesting because then Rodgers has to decide. Right. Remember, he said
play or retire.
And he said he was 90% retired going into the retreat. And let me tell you something. Are you hiring somebody that says I'm 90%?
That's it. You bounce right into my point. Exactly my words. Like
I wouldn't want to hire anybody.
You and I are running the Jets
right
now.
Sean tells me, yeah, no, I'll work with you. But, dude, let me tell you.
I'm 90% out.
I'm 90% pretty much retired. I'm going to go, Sean, well, what the fuck?
Then go retire.
Get out of here, bro.
Go retire. Find some guy that you can work
I'm not going to hire you so then you're leaving me in 2 months. Get the hell out of here.
Look, I'm starting.
And it's New York, Bubba.
You better
it's New York.
You better be 100%. You better be 100%.
It's New York.
So
that makes hell look like an ice hole.
So my point is that there's a chance, and I'm kind of, look, maybe I'm just the guy looking for something, exciting to happen, but there's a chance that the Jets say, forget it.
No, I think they're stuck now. They're stuck like Chuck. They have no choice now. What are they going to go do? Draft another rookie? They're not going to do that. There's no veteran that's going to bail them out. So, and they've sold it to their fans that they're getting Rodgers.
Well, wait.
So you just said New York.
But wait a second.
Now the Jets have to go back and answer to their fans that we're not trading for Aaron Rodgers. What do you think they're going to do now?
And we know that the negotiations is horrible.
And by the way, you've been a season ticket holder. You know about this. Okay? What do you think those people are doing for suites? Big time. I'm not talking about like some guy buying tickets in the second level,
the $50,000
in the 400 level.
Yeah.
No. The guy that's
buying
buying
a suite, two
Sweetheart-
suites.
Oh yeah, Rogers is coming. Don't worry about it, Roger. You sold it to
Yeah,
him.
buy
already.
it before the Rogers signs, and it's going to be cheaper when Rogers signs.
You
It's going up.
sold
20%,
it to
you know?
them already. The Jets have put themselves in a position, and the Green Bay Packers know it. They need him there to get in sync with his players. They need him there because they've kind of promised it, and they need him there because they have no other answer, no other option. They've painted themselves into a corner. And Green Bay, also hearing that he's 90% retired, may say, we can take this all the way to the end. That guy might get so frustrated, he might retire and we don't have to pay him.
We'll take him August 30th, right till August 30th, 31st. So I'm going to stay with quarterbacks and have some more fun with a really more fun quarterback. Is it the greatest lifetime contract you've ever heard of that Jimmy Garoppolo received?
Or are you talking about the offer from the chicken ranch that he can get?
Lifetime free sex for the rest of his life.
Here's my problem. I talked about
it's the greatest lifetime agreement ever.
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean no? How can this
Let
be
me
no?
finish. Let me finish now. Let me finish. Okay. So you're an ugly football player and you sign this deal and they offer you the sex. That's actually a great move for you. But when you're Jimmy Garoppolo,
who's not an ugly player,
and you look like Jimmy Garoppolo, all you got to do is walk right outside the locker room at the end of every game and go, ladies, I'm here. And there's like 800 of them that are going to line up. So instead of going to sleep with somebody that has more traffic than the Lincoln Tunnel, maybe you can at least find some other ones there.
I just think here's what I've heard. Okay, I've talked to, this is just around town conversation. And I've talked to mostly women about it, right? I literally...
You probably sound like a creep talking to women about this.
I said, what do you think about this Jimmy Garoppolo thing? I don't say the whole chicken ranch thing, right? You know what they all say? Oh, he's so cute, right? I mean...
They're all half on... When they watch football and Jimmy Garoppolo's on, most of the women have no clothes on.
Listen... I didn't know that.
Oh,
I'm going to invite him over to the house.
It's a fact. Do you guys want to get to sex quickly? Put Jimmy Garoppolo on. You'll notice your wife and girlfriend are practically nude at that moment. So, before you know it, Jimmy Garoppolo, through the television, through osmosis,
help the brother
is
out.
actually doing foreplay for you. It's a beautiful thing. He's doing half the work for you. So he's prepping them for you, man. You can't beat that. Garoppolo is no, seriously. When you look like him,
I think if you ask 100 women right now,
you get 99 of them are sleeping with him.
He's the cutest thing in the. I don't know what happened. He's a good-looking guy, but Jesus Christ!
You need to go look on YouTube. Look, Garoppolo Niner players at Warriors game. It's the funniest scene you'll ever see.
I will see it.
Okay, because that's when he's in San Fran. Okay, he's at the game with Christian McCaffrey, who's a good-looking dude, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay? George Kittle isn't really that good-looking, but he's really talented, rich, and obviously in great shape. And then two other Niner players. I don't know who the hell they are. But they weren't, like, gross dudes. They were, like, and all dressed nice. They're all courtside at a Warriors game. I shit you not. All the Warrior cheerleaders come by. They all said hi to Jimmy, and they didn't pay attention to any of the other guys.
Wow.
Like, you got to watch that video. It's freaking hilarious, bro. Like, Kittle and Christian are, like, sitting there like they're tripping out that all the women are all over Garoppolo.
We're here too.
And we're here too. And they didn't give a crap about those guys.
Well,
it's like, hi, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. It's the funniest thing in the world. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't need the chicken ranch.
No, I didn't say
he has the chicken ranch everywhere he goes.
The chicken ranch the world is his chicken
ranch.
ranch.
The world is his chicken ranch. Yes. That's how good Jimmy Garoppolo is, bro.
Anyhow, enough is enough. Talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, which isn't even football anymore. We haven't said one word about Jimmy Garoppolo's career, his future.
None of that matters. None of that matters because we all wish we were
new team.
We all wish we looked half as good as him. We don't want to play football. We just want to look half as good as him. Because half as good as him, we're getting so much action. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. It's a it seems like in the last month or so, it's taken on a life of its own, though. It's not just in sports; it's on every network.
Yeah.
Every
It's the off season.
Yeah, today's show, everybody's talking about it. This group of people, this group of guys, group of girls. I mean, everybody in the world, and kind of
It's a slow time right now.
I guess so. I
Hey,
guess
trust
slow
me,
news.
the
slow
last
news.
couple of days, I sit here with Sean. I go, dude, it's been hard to prepare for shows because there's not a lot to talk about, and the Heat and the Panthers haven't been as sexy as they were last year. So that's kind of turned off a lot of people.
World Baseball Classic was fun, though.
It was, but it doesn't draw any interest.
Well, it draws
unless you're in New York or Chicago or Boston or the Dodger fans. You have to be in a town where baseball still matters. And the Marlins have ruined baseball for us here. So it doesn't. And he just gave us a great stat. Like the Marlins drew, what was it, 900,000? 910,000 last year, and these guys drew 470,000
in like a week,
15 games.
This is a sin. I used to go to the Marlins games, and I'd go there and I said,
my condolences, by the way.
Someday I will see a human being in the upper deck. Someday, like there was. I mean,
I'm sure there's a stoner up there.
No,
yeah. There's got to be some dude that went up there just to smoke.
Then he was way up and I couldn't see him, but I can tell you that it was like, are you kidding me? I remember the day I was there, not too long ago, and I'm sitting there with the three friends of mine that are super baseball fans, right? And I kind of like going to the game with them. They're just, they know their stuff, right? And I'm sitting there, and one guy says to me, he goes, it's hard. Oh, Angelo runs the poker room. My man Lorenzo, who's like a rabid Met fan, and Eric, who's another. He's more of a Yankee fan, but they love baseball. Right. Eric's the kind of guy, if he's driving down the street, he sees a baseball game, he pulls over, right?
Right.
So we're all, and one of them says to me, I forget who, he says, tonight the attendance is like, 7,500 here at the game. Their AAA team in Jacksonville drew 8,500. Yeah. At that moment. I mean, it's pretty bad. Yeah. Now, and I got to get going because I'm rambling, but I got to tell you, apparently it takes a different set of skills to play shortstop than to run a baseball team.
Yeah.
I hate to pick on good old Derek there, but.
Well, they didn't spend, and I think that's part of what was coming.
That was his plan, though. He's going to develop the pitching staff over 3 years.
But the owner has to also spend. Now, Derek didn't do a good job with bats.
No.
They found some pitchers, but they could not find enough bats.
Yeah, and even the pitchers, but anyhow. Mercedes, April 1st.
Yes.
Great talking.
And, come watch Sean drive away in a Mercedes.
And we'll see what happens. I'm just praying that the Jets say, forget it. We'll tank this year and we'll go next year, and then it's a whole mess for the summer.
They can't do that because
the season ticket holders will have a.
No, not only that, dude. You're ruining a year for Quinnen Williams. You're ruining a year. All your good players. You actually have a really good defense.
But remember something: the Jets and the Giants, they're sold out for the next 20 years. They don't need anybody to sell tickets.
No, I know, but
they're sold out.
Yeah, but you still need to come through for your fans because you're going to hear it, bro. You're going to hear it. Dude, they're going to kill you. They're going to annihilate you.
When I lived in New Jersey, right, I was on the waiting list for Giant tickets for 20-something years. Never, and then I took myself off I think, just took them off. It was you don't get calls. Jets are a little more chance of getting it's a little bit bad. There's so much demand there. They almost don't really need to unless the media beats them up.
The fans are going to beat them up. If they don't get that quarterback, the fans will beat them up because they look at that team and say, well, this is a team that's a playoff team with the right quarterback. And so if you don't come through, it's
going to be tough, but
they have them by the,
I'm rooting for it.
All right, my brother.
All right, man. Be good.
Appreciate you immensely as always. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. And
we'll catch up next week.
Next week it is.
You got it, baby. Thank
Adios.
you. Steve Calabro, baby, the general manager here at Hialeah Park. Matthew Hernandez, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, my theory is they're going to get a stable of blocking tight ends and get someone to help Alec Ingold clean up the line and ignore the tackle position to save some money, assuming, and cover the flaws in our O-line. No, that's not what's going to happen, Matthew. I completely disagree with you. They are not going to just forget about the O-line or the right tackle spot. And also the tight end and the fullback are not going to solve all your issues on that line as much as you would like. And that means then what are you going to do? Get it, stay max protect the whole time? You can't do that either. You can't keep the 5 linemen, the tight end, and the fullback blocking the entire time. It can't be 7 guys and then your quarterback is 8 and then you only got 3 guys. Then what? Who's running? Who's catching? It just becomes, so you'll have 2 pass catchers and then they're going to have 5 people in the secondary. You know, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't, that the math doesn't jive. They're doing something at right tackle, as I keep telling you. The plan, you may not know what it is. I don't know what it is, but they have a plan in place. And they must have a much higher opinion of Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg than you and I ever have. As I told you many times already in the last couple of days, they've only had those guys for 1 year. In their eyes, they've only had 1 year to work with, and they must have seen something that they like. I told you when Eichenberg got injured, they told me in that building that Eichenberg was turning the corner the last 2 weeks leading to that injury, and they were pissed. I'm telling you, they were pissed in that building that he got injured. Why? They thought his best football was coming right around the corner. And that's why I keep telling you, they have a belief in these guys that you all don't. Okay? They haven't convinced me either. And I argued with them about this. When they told me Eichenberg was turning the corner, I said, are you kidding? Are you joking with me? And those guys didn't draft him. That's the thing. The guys that are telling me this, they didn't draft him. And they like him. And usually when you didn't draft them, you don't really hang around very long if they don't like you. Okay? That's just the way it is. Oh, Chase, yeah, you don't fit. You're out of here. Oh, Gesicki, you're out of here. We tried it. Get out of here. You're gone. You don't fit. You're gone. They have no problem moving on, and yet they're sticking by those guys. So they must like something. I don't know what it is, but they have some kind of a plan. I get it. Now, remember, the same shit is happening right now that's happened to some of you last year. Last year, they started really slow in free agency. Remember that. The Tyreek Hill trade came weeks after free agency started. The Teron Armstead signing came a couple of weeks after free agency started. The first week and a half or 2, they weren't doing much. They signed a couple of things. It wasn't big names, and people were complaining, hey, what had they done? So we've only been in this, finishing up 2 weeks here. Relax. Let's give this some time. Let's see what happens in the rest of free agency. Let's see what happens in the draft. And then let's see what happens leading into training camp and the preseason, because then other guys will be cut then at that time too. All of these things will come into play, and then we're going to figure out where we're at. But overreacting now doesn't make any sense because the process just started. So we've got to be a little bit chill. No matter what you feel about Eichenberg and Jackson, relax. Maybe Brandon Shell's going to be brought back, and he did a really good job. Maybe Brandon Shell's just asking for too much money right now, and he's coming off a leg injury in his final game of the season. And he was already struggling as a player, and yet he found his way last year. So a lot of teams may not be willing to give him money. And maybe Miami wants to bring him back, but they want him back at a certain number. And he did a good job at right tackle. I don't know what the plan is. But I can tell you this, they're not done yet. And who knows? Maybe there's a right tackle in the second round at the 51st pick. Do you know how many right tackles have been picked in the NFL in the second round? Oh, my God. A ton. I don't know. Maybe they have a plan. Maybe they feel really good about certain players falling to them in their positions, and that's why they haven't gotten a right tackle. We'll see. But let's pump the brakes and let's give this a chance, because last year you didn't have Tyreek Hill, and then all of a sudden you have him. And when you added Teron Armstead, and you're like, holy crap, this has been one hell of an offseason. Okay? And it's been a good one so far with Jalen. I like the long kid. They've made some good additions overall. Let's see what happens the rest of the way. All right, on behalf of Alec Ingold and of course Steve Calabro here from Hialeah Park, Sean Stanley, the man that masters this entire platform every single day. We thank all of you for tuning in as always. Don't forget, we'll be giving away a Mercedes-Benz right here on April 1st. It is not an April Fool's joke. It's the real deal. Saturday night, 1 a.m., we'll be giving it away here at Hialeah Park. So come on out. The more games you play downstairs on the machines, the more entries you will get. And remember, they also have the smoking hot slots outside. So if you're a smoker, you want to bring your cigar, your cigarette, or your vape pen, enjoy yourself outside in the smoking hot slots. But inside, it is smoke-free, baby. It's a beautiful thing. You'll be playing, and nobody's going to be throwing smoke in your face. And when you're up here in the second floor poker room, the lovely ladies also will take care of you with some drinks, some food. You got all the TVs, so you can watch all of the events going on, college basketball, any baseball going on, any horse racing going on around the country. You can make your wager. So come on out to Hialeah Park. We will see you all tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. live. We're at Acura or we're at KSDT? No, we're at KSDT. KSDT CPAs in Dadeland. We'll be there tomorrow at 10 a.m. Y'all be good out there. Much love.